tuning into the main radio. You are tuned into Sistar Soul Talk About It segment, and we have a very, very, very special guest, Miss Sophia Stewart, the creator, the owner of Matrix and Terminator, the actual creator of the story. And we're going to get a bit into that, get into her journey as to her discovering that her story had actually been published, and unbeknownst to her, and a few other things. Her journey in recovering everything that was hers, basically. So, to make sure that we get a little bit into that a little bit later, we're going to start off with getting to know a little bit about the Oracle, Miss Sophia. Miss Sophia has a very extensive background. She started off very young. She finished school early. She had a background in doing some professional things and during her college years and so on and so forth. We're going to let you guys get a little bit into that because I want you to understand that this is just not an author or, a person that just wrote a book. There's a story behind it. There's a story behind her writing this matrix and seeing the vision, but it was not called the Matrix per se. This was her vision, and it was turned into someone else's vision and taken over. So we'll get into that. But I'm gonna introduce you guys to Miss Sophia Stewart. Sophia, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you? Your mic's muted, darling. Something's going on with your sound, Sophia. We can't hear you. Hold on a minute, guys. Let me take you out and put you back in the stream, dear. See if that happens. Just one moment. Let's see, guys. Give it a moment. Maybe having some technical difficulties. Sophia? All right. I do apologize, guys. She is new to using the StreamYard platform, and she'll be coming back in just a moment. I appreciate your guys' patience. What we're going to do is get you started with a little bit of music. Let's do that. Play a song. Give Miss Sophia time to get herself together. Actually, she's back, so let's hold off on that.
Hello, can you hear me?
Let's see what's going on. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you, darling. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what happened. Sometimes that does happen. I saw that your mic wasn't muted. It just was acting up. So thanks so much for coming back in, sis. How are you?
Great. What I wanted to say was it was my vision, it was my book, and my book was adapted to the screen, and it was about the Matrix, the womb, and the eye of God, and about Terminator end time revelations, where the machines and the prophecy is with the oracles. So, no, they did not create anything, they didn't have any scripts, any books, or anything. That's why you see a lot of lies on the internet where they're talking about, well, it's Orwell 1984 and blah, blah, blah. Just a bunch of lies. But yeah, if you look at my book, The Third Eye Matrix and Terminator book, that's what it's called, The Third Eye Matrix and Terminator. The third eye, because on earth we have two eyes, but there's the all-seeing eye of God. And of course, the Matrix, the woman's womb, where God's children come out of, versus man's lab rats, the machines. Because what I wrote was the second coming of the Christ, the evolutions of consciousness, man versus the machine. But I wrote it in science fiction form. And I want to tell people, do not call me no Miss. It's Ms., but I don't even use that because I was married before, divorced. So my name is Sophia Stewart, and I would prefer that instead of any taglines. The rappers use the tagline, so that's good. That tags their music for you. But I'm an owner and a creator and an author and a producer, so I would like to use the titles that are given me.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes, because I'm tired of the mass confusion and the ignorance. And if you want the fourth installment of The Matrix, and not a trailer, because the trailer is not going to give you anything, but the fourth installment of The Matrix is called Evolution, not Resurrection or Resuscitation. Resurrection and resuscitation is not a continuation of a story. It's something that a person is trying to do. trying to bring something dead back alive. The last Matrix movie was 18 to 19 years ago, 2003. That's 18 years ago. It's 2021, people. And then for the last 3 to 4 years, they've been telling you a Matrix movie is coming. And you've seen a good roughly 20 trailers with the one out now. Go to YouTube and pull up the other 19 trailers talking about the fourth installment of The Matrix. It's been going on roughly probably about a good 18 years.
Fooling the
And
masses once again.
yeah, all it is what you see in the trailer, this last trailer, is a rebranding of the John Wick series into the Matrix, or the John Wick trilogy into the Matrix. That's why you see Lawrence Fishburne over there. That's why you see the lady in red. That's why you see Sophia in the third one. Go and pull up the trailer, the third John Wick, and John Wick is talking to Sophia. That acknowledgement is to all tie everything into the Matrix. And he's dressed like in the Matrix, not in the beginning in the third one. But as you get into the movie, he started putting on his Matrix gear. Now, if you look at the resurrection trailer of the resuscitation, trying to resuscitate something that's dead because they can't carry it on, all you see is John Wick coming into power, John Wick being taught by some young guy, John Wick heads being examined by a psychiatrist and not talking to the oracle. There's no oracle, there's no logo. When you look at the logo, there's no green tent, there's nothing but a recipe. The binary codes of the machines are the 1 and the 0. So I
And
don't
that
know. It's just a
and that
rebranding
binary.
of the
Oh, I'm
John
sorry.
Wick series, John Wick trilogy into the Matrix. You can look at the fanboys' comments about John Wick because they're not stupid. And by the way, did you put up my fourth installment book, which is the fourth installment
Yes,
of the
I
Matrix?
have I have the three books up. It's behind our picture, but they should be able to see it. I can pull that up. It'll be
Yeah,
a link along with
pull
that.
up the pull up the fourth installment, Matrix 4 Evolution. That's
Okay,
the
let me
one
see.
they should buy. That's the one they should get into. That is the real fourth installment that fans have been reading for 11 years around the whole world since 2010. The book has been out selling globally since 2010, 11 years, and have been feeding the Matrix fans, which is about 2 to 3 billion fans globally. It's a major brand. So you guys need to see that book, the Matrix 4 book, and get that book. Very important. I could have had it today with me. I forgot to bring a copy to
I'm
show you
gonna put it
guys.
up.
Yeah, but that's the one y'all need to get. That's the one that y'all need to read is the fourth installment. Very, very important. If you want to see John Wick, that's what you're going to see coming out. The John Wick
It's
movie
a
is going to be
totally
coming out
different
in
story.
December of 2021. You're not going to see any Matrix movie, but you are going to see the John Wick movie. So what they're trying to do is pull over all of the fan base from the Matrix and alchemate y'all into John Wick. John Wick taking the blue pill, John Wick waking up, the rehash of 22 years ago about the rabbit. All of that's been resolved in the last 3 movies. The blue pill has been solved. Taking the red pill or the blue pill. You take the red pill and you see how deep the rabbit hole goes. You take the blue pill, go back to sleep and enjoy the lie. That's been resolved in the last 3 movies. The fourth installment, I made 2 and 3 a
Mm.
dream, and Neo and Trinity and Morpheus never died. There's nothing to resurrect. There's nothing to resuscitate. So there is no resurrection when it's been continuing since
So
20,
that's the
11 years. Yeah, go ahead.
difference in the options.
Yeah, well, if the fourth installment has been out and Warner Brothers offered me $30 million for the shooting script, I mean, would you think it was kind of redundant to try to resurrect or resuscitate something that's dead? Because to resurrect or resuscitate doesn't give you an continuation of any work. All it's telling you is they're trying to do Michael Jackson's old steps from
Right.
30 years ago. Yeah, there it is right there. Matrix 4, The Evolution, Cracking the Genetic Codes. That is the book that you should be reading that's going to get you ready for the real Matrix, which is going to come out in animation. No one needs to do a blockbuster movie that's going to cost anywhere from 150 million to 200 million during a pandemic, during a really serious pandemic. That's suicide. That's chaos. And so, uh, if you ask Tom Cruise, he'll tell you he lost, I think, $600,000 a day with the Mission Impossible because a couple of people got the corona on the set. He had to shut down for 2 weeks.
Wow. So you said it'll come out. Matrix 4 will actually be an animated movie.
Yes, it'll be animation because doesn't that make much sense? Because we're working on the animations now. It would make more sense for animation than it would a blockbuster movie because this is a blockbuster movie. You know what I'm talking about? When you read the
Right.
fourth installment, have you read the fourth installment yet?
No, I
Some of,
started reading it.
yeah, well then you know that's a blockbuster movie. That
But
when
because, so just to clarify for everyone, so because it's your book, and even though they keep saying, oh, they're bringing out Matrix 4, Matrix 4, they are not able to bring out the Matrix 4. You're actually bringing it out yourself, but you're presenting it as a animated movie.
No, no, no,
And
no.
what
I'm
they're,
not presenting. No, 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 no. I'm not presenting it as an animated movie. I am continuing my work as one of part of the copyright as animated. But when the pandemic has ceased, it is going to be a blockbuster movie. It's not going to be the rebranding of John Wick that you see in a trailer. Everybody knows that's not the Matrix. All the super fans have read the Matrix 4 Evolution book. Come on now, all the fans, when that book first came out, everybody needed to know who really created the Matrix. No, author is always going to continue their work. You can steal a Picasso right now and go erase Picasso's name and sell it for $100 million, but you can't paint another Picasso because you just lied. All you're going to
right,
do is try to copy the painting you found in the basement and keep trying to recopy it and redo it and rehash it until redundant. That's all, because you can't go forward. You can't eclipse it. You know, only the real person can. Because look, if Michael was alive, he's steadily eclipsing his work. He's a creator. Or Prince, the late Prince. They are steadily eclipsing their work if they were alive. Now, all you can do is imitate Michael and Prince's old set from 20 or 30 years ago. Right now, if you did a Broadway play, if you did a movie, all you're gonna do is rehash Michael's old steps from 20 or 30 years ago, Prince's old steps. So you get what I'm talking about? You can't
right,
eclipse
right.
their work because you're not the creator. And who wants to see
Absolutely
the old
correct.
stuff when they want to see the new stuff? Because everybody wants the stuff to continue. They want newer, better, greater.
So it's going to
Yeah.
be, so the animation will be a continuum, but it'll just show it in a different light by
Yeah,
presenting it
it's just
that way.
another derivative part from the copyrights. The derivatives mean it's derived, mean you can make a movie, you can make a comic book, you can make an animation, you can make a play. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yes.
Full fledged blockbuster. So you're just steadily putting it in different forms. You can make music from it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yes.
You can make music videos. You can do all kinds of stuff and sell it. These people are not going to cross that line. All they're doing is rebranding John Wick. Somebody gave them the idea. Well, why don't we just incorporate the whole franchise into John Wick and everybody gets the Matrix, but
Mm,
it won't be the Matrix, but it'll be John Wick, but they'll feel like it's the Matrix and they'll pay for it.
mm-hmm.
Because when you go into John Wick, you see the lady in red. When you go into John Wick, you see Morpheus there. When you go into John Wick, you see scenes, on the motorcycle right out of the fourth installment. You'll see a lot of stuff that's lifted right out of the book, and all the fans know. The fans are not stupid. For some reason, they think these fans are stupid. The
I've
fanboys are
never
not stupid.
I've never seen the John Wick movies. I know you told me about it before, but I've never seen the movies actually. I didn't even know that they were kind of like trying to portray it as, a continuum of it, or this is a part of it, so on and so forth, until you had informed me of it. I'm looking like, oh, this is why it looks so similar in a different way. So they try
Yes.
to like still pass it off in another way.
Yeah, when you try to rebrand something and pass it off, you want to steal the shine from something else because you can't use that. It's the same way that little Nas did with Nike. Nike is the brand. So if you put some blood on it and some satanic rituals and paint it red or do whatever you're doing, and he sold 666,000 copies, and Nike came
Mm,
after him, and they're taking the money from him and Mischief. The company Mischief was behind him. And after that, there's going to be a criminal case. Because, see, the civil case is always first for damages. Then the criminal case comes next because you're counterfeiting. You're counterfeiting a brand. Nike is a
that's
brand that's
right.
been selling around the world for years. You already know Nike. Lil Nas and Mischief, the company knew that Nike didn't belong to them. So how are you going to sit up there and dress up Nike and try to make it your own and change it? That's counterfeiting. That's the same way you do with money. You
That's
go
right.
and you take the money and change the denomination of the money, or you change the picture of the money of the president, or whatever, you doctor it up. That's what counterfeiting is. It's stealing. It's a criminal act. It's RICO, and the feds are going to come after you
Right.
because what you're doing is counterfeiting. You're counterfeiting a brand. You see, that brand already has 2 to 3 billion fans globally around the world. And so you're trying to steal that money. So it's always two cases, a civil case, because they're going to take that money from you. Nike is going to take that money. Then the FBI and the DOJ can come in and they're going to prosecute you because you're counterfeiting. Counterfeiting lowers our money. It lowers the FBI's money. It lowers the Department of Justice money. It makes everybody's money like it's nothing. Your
It
money
devalues
becomes,
it. Yeah.
it devalues it, and it becomes worthless. So then this is what they're doing with trying to counterfeit the Matrix. They don't want the feds after them. When I went into the courts, I own the copyrights to the derivative movies. The movies are nothing but derivative. They're secondary. They're not primary. They didn't come before the copyrights. They didn't
Hmm.
come before me. They came after me. My copyrights are 81, 83, and 84. Terminator didn't come out to October the 26th, 1984. Matrix didn't come out to March the 31st, 1999. Everything that Matrix or Terminator can be traced back to my 81, 83, and 84 copyrights in the books. I've read 4 books on the Matrix and Terminator. Come on.
And after having the books out, after having the copyrights, they still try to say that they did not get this information to proceed with making these movies. And by that, this is how you were able to prove in the court, the District of Omaha, correct?
No, the District of Utah,
Utah, Utah.
the federal court of Utah, because I come from a military law enforcement family.
Okay.
And my family was stationed at Hill Air Force Base, and that's how I got to go to Utah. And I had my court case there because the FBI told me to have it there with the Mormons because the Mormons are very spiritual people. But even though they did get some of them, like some crooked judges and some crooked lawyers, I was still able to go in there and win. Now they're trying to make it look like that the Matrix is not a religious story. No, the Matrix
Mm,
is a spiritual story. It's not
right.
religious, it's spiritual. It's talking about the laws and world of God and a message, but it's done up in science fiction form. It's written in science fiction form. It's not written in any religious. It ain't written biblical. It is
Hmm.
written in a science fiction story that sails around the whole world.
Changing your original outlook on how you wanted to present it to the world, correct?
No, they were trying to change the people's perception of my work. But when the people get the books and read it, they see it's science fiction. But if
Mm.
somebody is writing something or talking about something on the internet, or they're saying something in the media, they're trying to change the perception, which is called programming, which is plugs you into the matrix. That's what
That's
plugging
correct.
in and programming is all about, because the media is lying to you.
That is correct, Sophia. Can we touch on that a little bit, if you don't mind?
Oh
When
yeah,
we talking
excellent.
about Oh, great, great. Now, a lot of times I talk about the wave formatting and how there's actually the frequencies that connect to your brain and write different information on your brain. Basically, this is the technology. This is everything that's a part of that matrix per se, or the simulation that we're a part of, so on and so forth. So when you say that the media is lying to you, putting these ideas and thoughts in your mind, elaborate a little bit on that for us, as far as like your thoughts on that.
Well, that's what Matrix was all about, coming out of the womb, coming out of the ignorance, because Matrix is a 7,000-year-old Latin word for the woman's womb. It's mentioned 5 times in the King James's Bible, 3 times in Exodus, 2 times in Numbers. Exodus 34th chapter, 19th verse, God says, he who opens the matrix or come out of the woman's portal, her stargate, her womb, or his children, three-dimensional children, three-dimensional beings. And
Right.
man created his lab rats or his children, the machines, out of the laboratory. So God's blood children, red blood, that's where the red pill come from, because
Yes.
God's children, when you cut them, red blood come out. And the machines, when you break them apart or tear them apart, they're blue and black ink or blue and black oil.
Yes.
You see what
When
I'm
so when
talking
it
about?
Yes, yes, definitely. I appreciate you elaborating on that. I totally agree with that. In the sense of you saying that, that's the true, we would say, the indigenous person that has a true spirit would be the person of red that has the blood. That's the person that has the light. That would be a considered a light being, or a spirit,
Exactly,
a true
because all
spirit. I
living,
talk about.
all living, all living things have blood in them, red blood coming
That's
out.
right.
The animals, they're gonna
That's
bleed
right.
blood. What I'm talking about, the people are
That's
gonna
right.
bleed red blood. It's gonna come out of them. Now the machines, it's always gonna be
Mhm.
the blue and black ink or the blue and black oil.
Yes.
Coming out of them, the machines. What is it, blue or black oil? Or when it was in school, you got your grade changed if it was in black pencil or blue ink. But if it
Hmm.
was in red, it was final. It could not be changed. Even in the courts, whenever anything is done in red, it cannot be changed or altered.
Mm.
And so these people, when they stole the work, they had no idea where the word matrix came from.
Mm.
Me, the author, the creator, explained it to them. They thought it was just some word that was, uh, really hip word or whatever. Thought it was like a
Mm.
super word until I broke down the contents and what the word matrix was all about and how the relevancy to the matrix itself, movie theme, concept, characters, graphics, special effects, all coming out of the Third Eye Matrix and Terminator book. So these people never wrote a script. They never wrote a book on it. They don't own any copyrights. They don't own any trademark, because if you go into the government and you ask for copyrights or trademark and you lie under oath, it's called under the penalty of perjury. They can come back and prosecute you 10, 15, 20, 30 years later. And what they're doing is using you as a witness against yourself, because it says clearly, under the penalty of perjury, you are putting in documents that belong to you and that you are the true creator and owner of this. And if you lie under oath, everything you thought you got is automatically invalidated. So if you went into the motor vehicle and you used your sister's birth certificate and you lied under oath under the penalty of perjury, when you get into a car accident, they can come and prosecute you because you never had a driving license. So they can prosecute you for fraud, even if they found out 5 or 10 years later. They can still use
Wow.
your witnessing under the penalty of perjury. So when people lie under the penalty of perjury, beware. You didn't get whatever you thought you got is it automatically invalidate the moment you lie and commit fraud and perjury. And the government can turn around as soon as you get found out, come and arrest you. Because under the penalty of perjury is badass. It is what this is why when you go into the police department and they start interrogating you and they have you to sign a confession. Well, when they have you sign that confession, it's under the penalty of perjury. You're being a witness against yourself. That's why your lawyer tell you, do not talk, don't sign anything, don't say anything, because everything you say and do can be used against you in a court of law. And that they can prosecute you with your own words because you're on tape. The moment you go into a police department, they got you on tape. They got you audio and camera down. Everything you say and do is recorded and can be used against you. And if you sign a confession or sign a document where you talk, it's under the penalty of perjury. So when you apply at a trademark office, if you apply at a Library of Congress for copyrights, or you apply for anything dictating towards the government, you have to sign off under the penalty of perjury, and they can get you 10, 15, 30, or 40 years later. You'll be like Bertie Madoff, going to prison at 65 years old and getting 150 years and dying there like he just died recently. That's what happened to John Gotti. He died of cancer there. That's what happened to Bertie Madoff, Whitey Bulger. Al Capone got out and he died from syphilis as soon as he served his time. But look, he had been committing crimes, all of them. Whitey Bulger died in prison from snitching. So they say, allegedly. But all I'm telling you, that crime does not pay and it will catch up with you. That's right.
And they set these traps correct. I'm sorry, darling. They set these traps correct because just like you said earlier, you can go in and take the information of someone else. They know that the information is the truth. They just waiting on you to do something so they can catch you up.
That's right. They set you up under the penalty of perjury. The lawyers never explain this to their clients like I'm explaining it to you and the people who are listening. You need to learn what under the penalty of perjury really means and what it's about. Because it doesn't matter if you came in on the crime. Like, say, for instance, you started doing the crime, Andrea, and then I came later and joined in. I can still be tried as a principal just like you. Even though I came 10 years later, even if I came 6 years later or 100 years later, I still can get the same punishment as you. Because it's called aiding and abetting. And under the aiding and abetting law, you can be prosecuted just as the major, as the principal, who started the criminal act in the first place. So everybody that joins in with Warner Brothers in these studios that are stealing, it can receive the same punishment. The executives, under the executive order of Donald Trump signed in an executive order saying that if you got anything under the racketeering law, under that executive order, you can be prosecuted. If you're getting money under that executive order, under the RICO Act, a RICO Act is a criminal act. I mean, if you commit any crime, whether it's sex trafficking, whether it's pedophilism, whether it's drug trafficking, anything, even if going into the copyright office and stealing copyrights and lying fraudulently for trademarks and anything that you get and from the government under the penalty of perjury, they can come back and nail you 10, 20, 15, 30 years and prosecute you as if it was the first day that you committed the acts. They need to know this. That's right. And anybody that comes along and join in thinking that, well, I came in on the tail end. Well, I only was doing it for 6 months. Whether you're aiding and abetting, no matter what you're doing, you could be tried as a principal under the RICO Act and get the same thing that a major person who's been operating for 20 or 30 years or 40 years you still can share in and get the same maximum sentence or worse. And it doesn't matter if you're aiding any kind of way. If you're bringing them information, you're helping them to steal copyrights. You're helping them to steal trademarks. If you're sitting up there bringing or doing anything to aid them in a criminal act against the government, you will be tried as a principal.
So even the ignorance of the law, basically when they say the ignorance of the law. Oh, I
Yeah, it
didn't
doesn't
know.
matter.
That doesn't work.
It doesn't matter if you're in ignorance of the law. You need to read the RICO law. The RICO law is what put Al Capone, John Gotti, Bertie Madoff, Whitey Bulger, put these people, some of the people that I'm naming, mobsters, who had committed crimes for 20, 30, 40 years, put them all in prison. Yeah, they paid to stay out of jail a long time because there are fans that said, well, wait a minute, Warner Brothers and them are selling Matrix and Terminator. Yeah, they're selling stuff. They're getting the royalties. But guess what? Every time they sell a Matrix and Terminator product, it adds 10 years to the RICO law. It adds 10 years to them getting prosecuted, meaning that the statutes of limitations will never run out. In other words, say you start stealing in 1984 and you
Mhm.
continue to collect royalties, Schwarzenegger, or any of you out there, collecting the royalties, and they sell a product, it adds 10 years to your sentence. Meaning that you can be 100 years old if you're still alive. They're going to come and arrest you and put you in prison. And if you got 3 more years left, and you die at 103, you'll be in prison dying at 103.
Mm.
Because every product that is copyrighted and it starts selling and you're paying to stay out of jail like the way the mobsters did, like Al Capone, all of them.
Mm.
Whitey Bulger had a brother who was a senator and a best friend that was an FBI director that was helping them to steal, They made the senator step down. They did something and set up the director. He killed somebody, did something. They put him in prison. And then Whitey Bulger went on the run because he had nobody to pay off. Then they
Mm.
caught up with him in Santa Monica, brought him back, and he died in prison from snitching. Somebody killed him there, but he probably got killed because he knew too much.
Mm.
Same thing with the other guy that Jeffrey, the one with the island, Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey, yes,
That's
Epstein.
Epstein. The same way he knew too much, and if he's dead or under the witness protection program, he's one of them. He's either dead or under the witness protection program. You see what I'm
I
talking
have
about?
two.
Because he knew too
Yes,
much.
we have two questions. Two of the listeners wanted to ask real quick. The first one was they said, "Have you been?" I'm sorry, I didn't. Let me recall who that was. Someone asked, "Had you been blackballed?" Ricky Young. He asked, "Have you
Yeah,
been blackballed in the industry?"
Ricky, let me educate you. I never was blackballed because I never joined the organization.
Mm. So she wasn't a part of it, Ricky. Period.
I never worked for the Jews in the studios in the first place.
Yes.
Did you ever see me on the
Yes.
red carpet working for them? Did you see them selling my ass and my tits? Did you see them
Hmm.
selling kids and what they sell on the red carpet? That came from slave days. If you saw the movie Get Out,
Right.
you look at the movie Get Out, and you see all those black people on the block. That's what the red carpet was about. The Jews are tradesmen. They do hats, they do clothes, they do jewelry, and they sell those jewelry, clothes, and hats on the red carpet. But now they're selling a little bit more because you see half naked women, half naked children, half
Yep.
naked everybody on the red carpet. So they're selling tits, ass, and sex and homosexuality and everything else they can sell. And
That's
that's what you're
right.
looking at. And it came from slave days. Go look at the movie Get Out and look at them, those people where they're fingering the babies and fingering the women's and fingering the men's, and they're sitting there bidding on them. Well, that's what they're doing at the red at the carpets where you see all the gallias and events. They're getting on the phone, billionaires, and say, "Hey, I want the Kardashian and send them over. I'll give you 50 million to the agency, and you can pay her 10 million or 5 million, but I want to have sex with her."
Mm.
So send her over. And like what one girl told me, she could have got the Oscars instead of Halle Berry, but she didn't want to have sex with that guy that was married to Angelina Jolie. What's his name? The one she had sex with.
The
Um,
old guy.
yeah, the guy. I can't think of his name right now, but he
I'm
used
bad
to
with
be
names too.
married.
I'm sorry.
He used to be married to Halle Berry.
Okay.
I mean, not Halle Berry, to Angelina Jolie. Excuse me. Before she married
Okay.
Brad Pitt. Before she
Oh,
married Brad
oh,
Pitt, the
the
guy that
tall,
Halle
the
Berry's
tall
having
guy.
sex with. The
Yes,
one she's having sex with used to be married to Angelina Jolie before she
yes,
married
yes.
Brad Pitt. But as soon as he had sex with her, she divorced him immediately and got with Brad Pitt.
Mm, that is crazy.
Yeah, because
Another
the
gentleman.
direct was cut.
Oh,
Go ahead.
no, no, I'm sorry. I was going to say
So
another
I'm
gentleman was
so
saying, I wonder,
go ahead.
it's a little delay. I'm sorry, Sophia.
Oh, that's okay.
No, go ahead with what you were saying. I think I cut you
No,
off again.
I was answering his questions. No, I don't work for the cabal, so the cabal can never. I work for God, and so therefore the cabal can never blackball me
Hmm.
because I don't work for them. Blackballing means they stop you from the money opportunity, stop you from making money, stop you from going to work. The only thing
You're
that
not
can
a part of
stop
that.
me is God. That's all. I don't work for the devil.
That's right.
I didn't sign anything in blood, and I don't belong to the devil, and therefore I don't need his money.
That's right, sister. The gentleman, brother Didac Mercury said that the person you were talking about was Billy Bob Thornton. Is that correct?
That's his name, Billy
Okay.
Bob Thornton. Halle Berry had sex with him, real sex. You saw her stretch marks. And this girl, she told me they had offered her the Oscar. She's I'm not gonna name her. She's a well-known
Mm.
actress. She played in Blade. She had a starring role in Blade, and she turned it down because they told her she had to have real sex with Billy Bob Thornton, and that was
Ah,
disgusting to her. And so she wasn't going to get something uh, like that that would be disgusting to her, because the Oscar goes to the best liar. That's
mm.
what that Oscar, the best liar, because acting is about deception, and acting you're deceiving and you're lying. So the Oscar goes to the best liar.
Hmm. Of
That's who the Oscar
course.
goes to. Whoever can convince you that they're a doctor or a killer or a soldier or whatever, or a hero, and they get that Oscar from that movie, and well, the Oscar goes to the best liar.
Wow.
What's the second
Another,
question? Yeah.
yes, he said, I wonder why she haven't sued them. Sounds like she had a big case on her head. Now we covered that, sir. She actually did hardline boss. She didn't really get into it a little bit, but she can tell you a little bit about that herself as far as how she brought it into the courts and what happened.
Well, I need to tell these people because it's so sad, because God says, my people perish because of a lack of knowledge. And it's so sad because all these people have to do is go to the archives and find out that I won the lawsuit 7 years ago. Now, this is pitiful. It was 3 lawsuits. The first one was in California, was a criminal case to put them in jail because the FBI had already validated the theft and everything. The documents are in the court docs. The second court case was in Utah because they got that case dismissed, and they said I owed some attorney fees, over 300 some $1,000. Now, the second case was in Utah, and I won back that 300 some $1,000 for attorney fees because I was on my own attorney. I won pro se. But I was also able to enter in the copyrights to all the derivative movies and enter in the FBI documentations and enter in all the evidence, which was 96 pages, all the movies, 1 minute and 45 seconds hidden in plain sight of the protective expression, showing you that I wrote Matrix and Terminator and that I own it by copyrights. Now, these people are so pathetic because they're still reading old news on the damn internet. The internet is not media. Wake the hell up, folks. It is a
Mm.
communication platform for you to sell and make money for commercialism. It is not telling you the truth. You have to go to the news archive and read that I'm the real creator and owner of the Matrix and Terminator, and that I won 7 years ago. You guys are looking on the internet and reading old garbage and old stuff, and all they're doing is circulating and mimicking old stuff and gossip off the internet. None of them would take 2 minutes and go to the news archive and pull up the real news. What the hell is going on with you people? You people are in the matrix. And do you know, if you do not find out information and real knowledge, you're going to die. You're going to die. If you're reading stuff off the internet, you're going to die. Nobody can sue anybody on the internet. They ain't even using their real names. There are nobodies on there spreading gossip. Even some of the lawyers are dumb and misleading, and people that have supposed to have this knowledge is misleading. It's so sad. It's really, really sad.
Yes, it is. It is.
In America, not know what's going on? How could you know that these people never wrote The Matrix or Terminator, never told you on any show? If they wrote The Matrix and Terminator, hell, they can come on anybody's show. They can come on Ellen's show. They can come on anybody's show and tell you. But you won't see that, because under the penalty of perjury, that tape can be used against them to prosecute them for lying. So you're never going to see them on there. And Andy,
so what you were saying.
Wait a minute, I got to tell you something important.
I'm sorry.
You people, Andy and Larry Wachowski, are not women. You need to stop calling them that. They have had no sex change. They have had no federal name change in any courts. I asked for these documents when I filed the lawsuits. The lawyers could not provide it, so they went in under Andy and Larry Wachowski. Andy has been married to his wife for 22 years. You can put an investigator and find that information out. He is not a Lily, and Larry is not a Lena. They are men with women. Larry had a wife. He divorced her in 93, got with a dominatrix woman. They love women. They've been lying to the LGBT group and organization for years, and they never investigated to see if they were this or not. They never checked to see if they had any sex changes. They never checked to see if they had any legal name changes. They can't even get a legal name change because they're thieves. They're thieves. They're crooks. They've been lying to y'all for years. And for 18 or 19 years, y'all been spreading the lie and believing the lie, and haven't seen a movie since 2003. The only one that's been continuing the work is me. Now, if I was the liar, wait a minute. If I was the liar and I was the thief and I was counterfeiting, my ass would be on TV everywhere locked up.
That's right.
Kidding me? I'm going to tell y'all like the mob. Are you kidding me? Are you still locked in the Matrix? What the hell? Wake up before somebody kill you. Wake up.
Really? They're sleeping, sis. They're sleeping. Oh, I talk about it all the time. They don't understand. I keep trying to explain to these people about the assimilation and how it's a trick of the mind. Just it's sad, and it's like trying to open up people to it, but because their mind is so warped and being trapped into it, they really can't get it.
And they're dying and being killed and harvested over and over because they won't take time to go to the real news and dig the truth for themselves. God wants you to dig the truth for yourself. He doesn't want you to accept anything. He wants you to find out so nobody can lie to you. And it means your life or your death. Finding out the truth means your life or your death. You know what I'm talking about? Going by bullshit. You know what I'm talking about? Being locked into programming, locked into a trap. You see what I'm saying? What is going on with these people? You know what I'm saying? It's not difficult.
But it is, Sophia, because of how can I say it? Because of the entrapment, they get so stagnated because of, you know how you were saying about the different chemicals that attack your body. You know, you put things in, it'll attack certain joints and stuff. I always talk about this stuff. And with that also is that dissemination of the mind. So they can't really get it. This is why they keep being trapped, because that They keep putting these things inside themselves, and they keep filling up themselves. They will not detox. They will not cleanse themselves. They keep putting in these things that inorganic, the GMO thing, and it's like it's a pollution. So now this pollution, it has no way to see clarity or understand truth. It can't even magnetize to the truth because of that fact. So I always talk about health and trying to get people to at least get that clarity so their mind is more purified so they can see that and get that and resonate with it. So it's a battle, sis. It's a real battle.
And you're telling the absolute truth. It's so horrible, because it's so easy to go into the archives, to the library, and look up the truth and be done with that. But they will go on the internet and they will swear up and down that the internet is the Almighty God, or the internet won't be lying to them, or the internet is sacred, or is holy, or is something. And I haven't figured that out yet, because all it's been doing is giving them the same lie since 2005.
Yeah.
And that's all they've been spewing, is an old lie from 2005. Now, who does that? I had a California case that got dismissed. I had a Utah case that I won at September the 25th, 2014, and on the Matrix and Terminator. Been on the red carpet at the Oscars, announcing that for the whole world. And in the Nevada case, I won $55 billion. And they're hating it. I got a default judgment, and they're hiding that information from the public. They changed the case number and put a fake judge name that wasn't even a judge when the case started in 2018. That's how low life they are. And when the public finds out this, it's going to come out, come open, and it's going to bust wide open. And you know what busts things wide open is when people find out the truth and they won't support the lie anymore.
That's right. That's right.
Because they're
The
going to
truth
try to
gonna pound it.
lie to them as long as they can lie to them. They're going to stretch that lie out and harvest these people and do all kind of wicked things to them until that lie comes to an end. And when that lie comes to an end and those people come back on them, oh, it's hell to pay. And it's so sad, because all they need to do is research things. The
Someone
executive
asked.
order. Yeah, go ahead. I'll answer
No,
the
no, no. I'm
question.
sorry.
No,
Yeah,
no, that's
they
all right.
asked where they were asking, were you familiar with Hare's property? Lou Era Grassroots asked this question, and I'm not exactly sure what Hare's property is myself. Are you familiar with that?
What is the name of it?
Hare's HEIRE. I'm sorry, HEIRS Hare's property.
No, but it might be something I know from another name. So tell them to
Okay,
explain it, because it's always a different names, but the same old stuff with a new
okay.
name change. So
If
could you
you can
elaborate a
elaborate
little
on
bit?
that, okay. Great. Any other specific questions anybody had? I can definitely answer rather quickly. I wanted them to know a little bit about where did you decide to make this third eye? I know you've always been spiritually inclined. You know, as a young child you had certain different things. Can you get into that and what actually made your mind create this idea? Where did you see? Wait a minute, we're in the matrix, and but there's ways that this matrix is being going, and I'm going to put it in, kind of write it out. Or how did you get the idea, Sophia?
It was easy, because I saw Star Wars. I'm from New York City. It was at the Apollo Theater where they started showing movies. Um, the Sutton brothers owned it at that time. And I saw Star Wars for the first time. And Star Wars was the Wars in Heaven. And it was talking about Lucas, George Lucas, how Lucas was writing about Darth Vader, the devil, how Lucifer, the devil, fell from the light side to the dark side. And I
Mm.
recognized the story in science fiction form. I say, wow, I know this story. So I said, what if I wrote the second coming of the Christ, the evolutions of consciousness, man versus the machines? What if I wrote that story in science fiction form? And when you look at the Terminator End Time Revelations, because that's where the prophecy comes from, where the machines in the future here, the oracle's prophecy, that a baby is going to be born to destroy them, this savior that's going to destroy the machines when they enslave mankind in the future. So that's why the Matrix and Terminator is past, present, and future time travel, where the Terminator knows that the mother of this baby, this savior, JC John Connors, Jesus Christ, who grows up to be Neo, one and the same in the Matrix, that John the Revelator was the only one to call Jesus the one, and that Neo is just a sneaky way, an anagram of calling him the one, Neoone.
Mm.
So the Terminator knows they have to time travel to the past because Sarah Connor is destined to have this baby. But Kyle Reese is one of the rebels in the future, and he knows that about the oracle's prophecy too concerning Sarah Connor, the mother of this baby. So he time traveled to try to protect her. They come through the burning blue portal naked without shame, the machine, because he's a machine. And somebody tell him go put on some clothes, because he doesn't know he's naked or without shame, because he has no soul. He's not a living being. He's a
Mm-hmm.
machine, wrapped in flesh, killed but cannot be killed. So he's coming after Sarah Connor. Kyle Reese comes to protect her. Kyle Reese falls in love with her while he's protecting her, make love, get her pregnant. It's the Immaculate Conception, because he has to go back, time travel back to the future, because he cannot stay in the past. He's a time traveler. So this is why the Terminator is the prequels or the beginning of the epic story to the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And Matrix, they didn't even know till they heard me talking about it. They were trying to copyright the word Matrix. Well, you can't copyright the word Matrix because it's a generic. You can't copyright the word cola because it's a generic. Now, you can copyright Pepsi Cola, you can copyright Coca-Cola, Shasta Cola,
Mm-hmm.
RC Cola, some cola with a name, but you can't copyright the word cola and own the word cola. And they thought that they could own the word matrix, and so they tried to copyright the word matrix
Mm.
and got crushed and told that it's a generic. But I copyrighted the Matrix. You see, the
Mm.
third eye matrix in Terminator. Because the matrix is talking about the woman's womb. The difference
Yes,
between a man and a woman is not the vagina and the penis. It is the womb. A woman can have a baby. A man will never have a baby. And I don't care how many doctors give him fake wombs. He will never have estrogen manufacturing through the body to expand the womb for 9 months or 36 weeks. He will never have a feeding tube called the umbilical cord, because if we go to 10 months in that umbilical cord, the feeding tube dries up, the baby is going to die. He will never, ever have any breast milk. I don't care how many tumors or how many false growths that a doctor put on your body. It's cosmetic, and if somebody hit it, it's going to turn into cancer because it's a tumor.
that's
You
right.
have actually paid the doctor 10 or $15,000 to put a tumor on you that can turn cancerous if somebody hit it or it just lays there dominant. It's only
Mm.
for show, and it's dangerous because it's nothing but a false growth. That's what a tumor is. It can become malignant anytime.
Wow.
So they need to stop lying, because you're getting your penis cut off is cutting off the seed. You
Mm.
cut, everybody wants the penis. So why would you
I'm, t-
cut your penis off and become Dr. Frankenstein? It doesn't
I'm
make no
telling
sense.
you. Talk
The
about it,
penis is
Sophia.
the most revered of all is the penis.
Mm. Mm.
The most sought after in the world. So why would you pay your doctor $40,000 to cut off the most sought after thing in the world that brings the seeds upon the earth?
That
The
must be somebody
continuation of
crazy.
life. The continuation of life. Because you're never going to have a baby. I'm sorry. The doctor's been lying to you just to take your money.
Mm.
He
Mm.
can give
Mm.
you a
Mm.
fake womb, but it won't expand. It won't have no baby. It won't be no estrogen. It won't be no umbilical cord to feed. And it will be no breast milk. Wake up,
Period.
wake up and stop dreaming. And
That's
all
right.
these openings on the body was created to evacuate waste and toxin and poison from the body. He gave the opening in the eyes to cry it out of, to cry the bacteria and the waste out of the eyes. The sweat glands are sweated out of your body. The nose to blow it out of your body. The ears to drip it out of your body. The mouth to gawk it out of your body. The vagina and the penis to secrete it out and piss it out. And the anus to shit it out. Okay? That I said it.
And not
And if
supposed
you
to go up in there.
you're not
Nothing.
supposed to go up in there because it's called sodomizing. It's where Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible came from. Go and read it with
Right.
Lot, incest, and killing people. Because it's got laws on
Right.
the book that you will kill somebody if you sodomize them because you're pushing shit back into the body. You're pushing bacteria. You're pushing toxin and all kinds
Yes.
of nasty stuff back
Yes.
into the body, and you will get an infection, you will get an STD, you will get AIDS, you will get something and die.
Yes.
Nothing
That's
can
right.
prevent that. Nothing can prevent that. You do sodomizing
Unclean.
and gonorrhea. That's what Sodom and Gomorrah was. Sodomizing and gonorrhea was the name of the city, the twin city. That's what they were practicing in bestiality and having sex with animals. That's why you got the most wretched diseases in the world. It is horrible. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to others. Stop lying, period, because everybody that lies is aiding and abetting in the lie. You're going to be tried as a
That's right.
major when
That
you
is
leave this
right.
earth.
Mm. Say that again,
You can
Sophia.
you can tell the truth and just tell the truth. You don't have to be deceitful. You don't have to lie. Say, I'm a man and I'm in a dress and I want to be with another man. And he says, okay, I'll be with you. I told my cousin that. My cousin was almost getting killed, getting guns pulled on him because he was a transsexual. Three of my cousins are
Mm.
gay. And I told him, I said, look, you don't have to be deceptive to people. Just tell them the truth and let them accept you for who you are. And do you know what? He did it. He met a man that accepted him as a man. He said, cuz I'm so glad I listened to you because my boyfriend accepted me for me. Now I don't have to worry about getting killed. Now I don't have to worry about getting beat up or let out on a lonely highway where somebody might kill me or harm me. Just tell the truth. If that's the lifestyle you want, then be truthful about it. Why the
That's
deception?
right.
Why getting other people to lie because they feel bad and they want to help you out or they feel sorry for you or they want to be a part of the lie? Tell the truth. That's all you got to do is let people accept you for who you are. If they
That's
don't
right.
accept you, the lie is definitely going to not help you to be accepted. The lie is just horrible. Tell the truth and let people accept you for who you are.
And you
Just that
you
simple.
have to accept yourself too.
It's just that
Make sure
simple.
you're doing that.
There's no need to lie because lying is
Yeah.
aiding and abetting. Lie makes you bad. And just because man telling you to tell lying is 50,000, 50 million, or 7 billion people lying on the earth doesn't stop the lie, doesn't change the lie. A dog will never be a fox. A fox will never be a dog, no matter how many lies you tell. No matter how many
Facts.
lies you've convinced yourself. No matter how much deception you've done, it ain't going to change the facts, one all. All it's going to change is who you are. And all you are is nothing but at the end of the day, but a liar. That's all you are. At the end of the day, a liar. When you support lies, you are a liar. I'm sorry. If you really want to do something, then support the truth.
Yes. Support
Accept
the
somebody
truth.
for who they really are.
That's right, sister. When it comes to that, Sophia, wisdom seeker, he asked, when did you know that you were an oracle? Was this something that you just knew that you were an oracle? Is this something that someone told you that you had a gift, or and before answering that, if you can give me 1 second. Thanks so much, you guys, for tuning in to Main Radio. Make sure you guys are tuning in Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're out. If you want to continue this conversation with the rest of Miss Sophia has to share with us, she does have a little bit more time. She has an event, so she's going to give us a few more minutes. If you have any questions, please join us over on YouTube at sistersoul.com. And we are out. Thanks so much for tuning in to Sister Soul. Talk about it segment, the main radio. Have a great one. All right, Sophia. Thanks so much, Garner, for that wait. And so, yes, he's wondering, when did you become an oracle? When did you know? When did you realize? I mean, obviously, you've been born blessed with, being intelligent, so on and so forth from your childhood. But can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I was always exceptional in school. I did not do high school. I took the New York Regents, got the diploma, and went into college and got the degree. Went to grad school, USC, City University of New York. And I was always an exceptional kid and was already writing and doing math and doing very phenomenal things. Taxes, where the IRS wanted me to come and work for them. I scored a 98 on the IRS exam. Was exceptional with law, worked for a Beverly Hills law firm. So I was always doing exceptional things, winning awards, still winning numerous awards, still very much a prodigy. I'm a prodigy, and some people are geniuses, but the prodigies are like people that you see where the little girl that's 12 years old is working for NASA. Or you see the movie Hidden Figures, where these women were very prominent in any of the going to the moon or helping NASA solve the mathematical problems that they needed for space travel. So I'm what you
Mm.
call, like those women, they've hidden the fact about these people. I was never hidden. I was in the open. And there's many, many prodigies that are working for government, working for NASA, working all over. They get their degrees, and some of them 7 years old, 8, 10, 12, 14. You know what I'm talking about? So it's always been like that.
So, and since you said that, I want to touch on that, Sophia. I talk about this. It's ironic. Just last week, I did a video on superheroes, and I explained to people how they get these stories, just like the Matrix, and you're explaining certain things. They get a lot of these stories about superheroes from our abilities, our electromagnetism, the energy we have, so on and so forth. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that at all, but because of that, it's very important. I try to not really overwhelm people with the information, because you can just get really deep into stuff, and people, it kind of goes over their head. But when it comes to these things, we have these abilities, these powers. This is one of the things, these prodigies like yourself that are just born with these abilities that have not been cut off. And I've talked about the ways that they cut our children off now to make sure that they don't reach these stages, starting in the womb, so on and so forth. But can you elaborate on that, Sophia? Because this is pertinent for people to understand. These are real people like yourself.
Yeah, well, they don't want you to learn math in school, because if you learn math in school, you're going to be a co-creator with God, a creator. You're going to be an inventor. You might be a phenomenal inventor, but you have to learn math and not spells or spelling. Spells and
Mm.
spelling is what the witches and the warlock, because words and illusions, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But I'm like Tesla, I'm like Leonardo da Vinci. We're polymaths. And when you're a mathematician and you know many maths, you're going to create. Like I'm talking about alien technology in the Matrix 4 book. That's 100 years ahead. Even the government and the scientists are listening to my interviews, because I'm talking about, like you said, electromagnetic fields and energy. I'm talking about virtual penal system. I'm talking about virtual skateboards, virtual companies that are coming. Do you see what I'm talking? I'm talking about a
Yes.
car that once you give the vibrations of your voice, starts the car up. You don't need a key. You don't need to push it. You don't need anything but your voice recognition and the vibrations of your voice in a musical note. It starts your car, where no one can steal the car because they don't have your voice, your vibrations, your energy to get that car moving.
Hmm.
I'm talking about this 11 years ago, almost 12 years ago, in the Matrix 4 book. Where Homeland Security got in touch with me. They read the Matrix 4 book on page 77. I'm talking about the new book, the new ship that's greater than the Nebuchadnezzar. It's called the Duo, where men's become gods upon the earth. And this ship is a alien UFC, a UFO alien ship that is mind-boggling. And so Homeland Security, they read it and they say, well, you solved the Roswell incident. And I said, what did you
Mm.
mean I solved the Roswell incident? They said, well, we captured these ships when the aliens died. They sent me classified information from the Pentagon about these ships before I was even born. This Roswell incident happened in the 40s and the 50s.
Mm.
And they show where they captured the ships, but they didn't know how these ships flew. They didn't know how they cloaked invisible. They didn't know how they were seen in two places at the same time until they read the Matrix 4 book. In the Matrix 4 book, I'm saying that the ships, the UFOs, fly with electric magnetic ring pulsion and the reversal of gravity, and how
Mm.
the machines cannot detect them, and how they're invisible, and how they're able to move, and how they load up when they hit these magnetic rings or these magnetic grids on Earth. Because, like at the Amazon of Peru, a lot of these magnetic grids, electric magnetic grids, have never been touched by man. And this is why you see a lot of the UFO ships, alien ships, fly over Peru, because they're looking for these magnetic grids where they are like gas stations for these UFOs. And they
Right.
fuel up on it just like we fuel up at a gas station. You see how we come in, different cars come in, fuel up, and leave out.
Yes.
Well, the same thing happens with these UFOs. They're coming from not from outer space, but they're coming through portals.
Yes.
They
Yes.
have all these portals that they come through, and they materialize through these portals because they know all the openings. Because
Mm-hmm.
nobody can go through the magnetic ring around the Earth, that belt that protects the whole Earth. So
That's
anything that
right.
hits that belt, like coming in, trying to get into the Earth, will blow up into thousands of pieces. And that's why you see the meteorites. And if anybody tries to go out, they're gonna blow up. So this is why they got these space stations and these satellites that are orbiting around the Earth in this space. That's why it's called outer space, because it's in this certain space.
Yes.
That's why it's called outer space, because you
Yes.
can only be in this little space between the belt and the Earth itself. And that's where all the satellites and the orbiting stations are. But they can't
Yes.
live up there because they can't manufacture oxygen. So they'll never be there. So they try to go underground. They want to destroy the earth. So they wanted to build, like just like in the Bible where it says that they wanted to build their throne upon God, and that's why they tried to go up into space. And then they couldn't do that, and then they're trying to go underground, but it's so many earthquakes, so many fusions, so many shifting of the earth core, because inside the earth there's all this heat and this fire that constantly is shifting the earth, where land just pops up out of the ocean. And that's called
Mm-hmm.
islands, or where the earth is shifting, where land falls right into the sea. But any cause or effect is always like, if some land falls into the sea, then some land is going to pop up in the
Pop
sea,
up somewhere else. Mm-hmm.
because it's always balance. It's always balance. It is always balance and order. God created balance and order. Man created imbalance and in arcany, in arch, and arch, what you call it, in arcany,
Anarchy.
in archy. Excuse me.
Yes.
He's the one that created hell upon the earth. He's the one that created unbalance and imbalance. He's the one that created the chemicals that won't the earth won't absorb, and the water won't absorb. The chemicals, it will not get rid of it. That's why they put it in the cans and try to get rid of it. And the cans, after a while, start bleeding. Chemicals. But back to what I was saying, Homeland
Yes.
Security was reading on page 77. Get the book and get the information from Homeland Security. Anyway, it's teaching what's going on with these UFOs and these portals that they're coming through.
Yes, I've talked since I have talked about this. These people probably think I'm crazy. I be trying to show them and letting them see, and but the people are only going to be aware of things when I guess they have to see it from inside themselves or recognize truth for them to even see the truth. It's kind of crazy to me. And those are those blockages. You can try and break barriers and open portals in people's minds so that these hemispheres aren't blocked and they're blinded to these things, but it's only up to them to really see it.
Well, they're not ready for this. Some things
Yeah.
that they are evolving, they're going through evolution, they're ready for. But I have to cut everything short because I have to be at a black
Yes.
tie event at 6:30, and it's
Yes.
5:10. But look, us do another one
Yes, yes.
very soon, and we can really go to 2 hours or whatever. And
Okay, babe.
hey, everybody, get the Matrix War book, read the new technology, go to my website, truthaboutmatrix.com. Get it
Yes.
off of Amazon. All you foreigners in foreign countries from everywhere, they go to Amazon, they get the book, you know. And the people here in the United States, get it from my website or get it from Amazon. But I love for you to buy it directly from me. This has been
Please do.
great. I'm coming back, and thank you so much for having me.
Yes, we will definitely have Sophia back, guys. She's in a rush today. She definitely wanted to give you guys a little more time. She did mix this date up with another date. She has an event. She actually going in a little late for taking care of her business. So we really, really appreciate the time she shared with us, and she'll be back. And we'll be able to get some answered questions if you guys want to join or so on. We appreciate you guys coming in with us. Sophia, you are a blessing as usual. You know I love you to death. So we'll be
Thank you. I
talking.
love you
We'll be
too.
talking soon
Yes,
anyway.
I
But
enjoyed it. And
all
bye,
right,
everybody.
darling.
Truthaboutmatrix.com,
That's right.
matrixterminator.com. All right. Bye
That's right. And
bye.
it's pinned at the top, guys. You guys can go to her website. It's pinned at the top of the page. And if anyone wants to join right now, just to ask any questions or anything, so on and so forth, I'm going to open the panel for a bit, and we'll kind of go from here. All right, guys. Let me play a little bit of music. Let's see if we can share. My computer's acting up a little bit, guys. Maybe I can play a song, see if anybody wants to come in, ask any questions or anything. Maybe something you might want me to ask Miss Sophia. I'll be talking to her a little bit later probably, and we can talk about some things. Sister Amazon. Thanks. Oh, here I go. All right, Amma. Hold on, Amma. This thing is acting crazy. I don't know if it's my, okay, there you go. My thing acting real sensitive. Thanks for joining, sis. How you doing?
Yes, I had to join my sister. Yes, yes, yes. So it was like, man, I'm smiling in the chat.
Diet was like, sound like somebody I know. He a mess. I said, see, I said, you know what was funny? I said, oh, Sophia is like confirming some of the stuff. She didn't elaborate, but you see how she's confirming a lot of this stuff. I be trying to tell people. So y'all think I be just talking. I want y'all to be listening to this information now. We got to be aware of truth and what's going on. I know I talk a lot. I know I say things a lot of times repetitive, but if I don't, sometimes people don't get it. Like there's blockages behind all that. There's reasons for these things. They're intentionally blocking things from us so that we're not privy to information, so that we're not able to open up, so that we're not seeing real truth in real life. What's going on, Mind's Eye? Thanks so much for coming up, bro. How you doing?
Peace and respect. Salute to you, sisters. Greatness.
Salute,
I'm all
salute.
right. I'm all right, long as y'all are.
Yeah,
Girl,
we
what you
are
been
doing.
doing? You been digging deep, huh?
Yes. I'm trying to get a little more comfortable, bro. I had just getting back here in Texas and getting comfortable with everything. Now I'm gonna try and just get things a little more on track and a little more professional. Make sure I'm bringing you guys some good information, the best that I can. And yeah, kind of going from there. So you want to join, babe? Here, all you have to do. Let me get the link again. Click the link key and let's see.
Oh, you can pin it on the top.
Okay. Okay. Click the
Yeah,
link.
that's real big right there.
It
You
is.
Okay.
know what?
Yeah, she is such a sweetheart too. She doesn't mind telling. And you see, listen, when you talk about the Oracle, she has so much information from log to history to
Wow.
man. She is full of information. I tell you.
Would you happen to have any insight on the film or anything like that?
What do you mean? She said it's going to be an animation.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna send
Yeah,
it to you in the text,
I
babe.
just wondered if if you probably have some coins others ain't got, because I ain't smoke with
Well, I
Sophia.
couldn't anything privy, like any particular information I couldn't really discuss. But yeah, she anything she don't talk about, I'm not gonna elaborate on anything she shared or just for her
Respect,
own.
respect.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. That was one of my questions I was wondering.
But yeah, she is. That's the thing. I said, I think people have a misconception of her. Just like, oh, this lady wrote this, like just she was just this author and they stole her story and boom. I'm like, no, I want people to really see this woman. This woman is so bright and intelligent. She helps a lot of people too. She does a
Mm.
lot to help people get on track, like how she knows about the law and this and that, encouraging people and stuff. She's a sweetheart, a very good
Uh-huh.
person, and there you go, Pete. A very good person, so on and so forth. So, thanks for coming up, sweetie. How you doing?
Good, Mommy. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, dear.
Okay. Hi,
Clearly.
everybody.
Did you like the interview?
Yes, I loved it. Very informative. And, I just think her mind is so creative. I'm looking forward to seeing what more she has to offer.
Yes, yes. Thanks for joining us, sweetheart. I thought you were working.
Man.
Yeah.
A lot of that, like say all of those films came off of her account. Yeah, that's
That's deep.
real deep.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they took that idea, ran with it, thought they was gonna
Ran
do
with her
it.
shit.
Mm-mm.
Look how good the Most High is when everything is good and you're doing things right. Did you hear what she said about they thought they was on copyright the Matrix, but because Matrix is general, they couldn't copyright it. And she said, "Look at these dummies." She went back to put the Matrix and copyright it. They were so dumb
Mm.
they didn't even know to put the Matrix.
Mm-mm-mm.
Trying to do wrong. When you're trying to do wrong, what's gonna happen? It's gonna backfire on you every time.
It's going, yes.
Yeah.
That's a pure
Yes.
example.
And I didn't even know she wrote the Terminator too.
Yes.
I
Mm.
didn't know that.
It was the
Yeah,
prelude to Matrix.
Oh,
wow.
That
And
makes
It
sense.
shows. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that makes sense because they're kind of not exactly the same, but they're really similar. Like with the concepts and everything, the storyline.
mm-hmm. Yep.
yes.
How they deal
Right.
with say Skynet on it wasn't even super obvious in the first Terminator, but it was all about say the internet, that
Right.
Skynet thing.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
And here we are in the, everybody clacking www.
But check this out. Look how with her mind, seeing all that way back in the 80s.
Mm.
That's amazing.
That was back when you before
Hey,
your
and
time.
then look at this, like say gut wrenching. This one just it hit home, say about 5 days ago. Like we talk about the motherboard.
Uh,
The
right.
motherboards, like the chips inside of the apparatuses, all of the, they all got the chips in it, and it's based in that green color.
Mm.
And that's that color that's on the matrix, and every say motherboard chip is symbolic of the very earth we own. You know how we walking through the buildings, and like the chips look just like the city.
Wow. Like that picture on I'm a Son video. That was like looked like
Yeah,
a house. Like that was like wow.
Yeah.
them houses you
Frequency.
was talking about.
Yeah, they do think like things, generally are built off of a frequency or tone, like I always be trying to explain, and she kind of confirms a lot of that stuff when she talks to me about different things. A lot of the stuff I've been saying to you guys is like confirmation in so many different ways, and it's like it's hard to explain a lot of the stuff and see it in a simple way without I don't know without like um
Overdoing it or losing,
yeah
yeah,
losing
losing people
sight.
because you will get to moving too fast. It's just like a race, so you will leave people in the dust if you put too much on it or whatnot. You could lose them. So it's true with comprehension, and if you're gonna keep them in the 1 foot side of the pool, or you're gonna take it to 10 and deeper. It's
And
Yeah,
just
it's
like
kind of
swimming.
and
yeah,
did
it's
you
it's. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
did you hear how she explained, or when she the way she explained the matrix, like what it really means, that word, that it was
Yeah,
5 times in the
yeah.
Bible?
We talk about that all the time,
Yes.
don't we?
No, I meant like that it was mentioned in the Bible.
Oh, that it was mentioned. Yeah, it is in the Bible a couple of times.
I didn't see. Wait, what? Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the Bible a few times. Just remember, you know how, okay, hold on. You know how we be talking about certain things with like the sun and the sky. I'm gonna bring you back to the remembrance. I think we
Okay.
discussed this before. You know how Ty, when she goes to explain it in the stuff, and we were saying how I said all this is in the Bible, you know, this and that, the birth, and you know how she said it's always talking about it in the Bible. It explains the birth and the woman and this and that. But maybe people don't be knowing when we be talking about like the sky and stuff, it kind of takes you away from what a person is saying. But we really be saying y'all, telling y'all that it's in the Bible, literally. It talks about
No,
all this stuff.
I meant that word. Maybe it's you know, they wrote it in a different word, as a different word. But I thought she said, or like, you know, that word, the matrix in the Bible.
Right, right.
I know what it
Mm.
means, but you know, okay.
That I see what you're saying. You
Like,
can't recall seeing that word itself in the
Yeah,
Bible.
yeah,
Okay.
Oh,
that's what I mean.
Like say
well,
say before you got a sister.
no, go what you was gonna say. What you was gonna say about it?
Before we start calling it the Matrix, it was known as the Bible. You know,
Hmm.
the construct or whatever. I remember seeing it in that video game movie Resident Evil where they was
mm,
like they was kind of at a round table and the dude was telling the other people that was, you know, there at the meeting with him. He was like, he said that they did this, you know, numerous times before with the Bible, where they reset the world. You know what I mean? So in all essence, he's talking about, you know, the Matrix. It's like, you know, a worldwide, a big plate. It's a big field, and they know the whole construct of it. So where they can reset it, this is why all of the deception is going on. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because they know how to, you know, reboot the system, and others don't. You know, we don't. It's like we just think we pop up out of nowhere, or our lives is, you know, worthless or whatnot. But you tied to something very, it surpasses riches. You know what I mean? Or earthly thing. This here
Yes.
matrix,
So
they put you to sleep on yourself.
what did you think, Kiara? What did you think about some of the stuff she said? Anything as far as like some of the stuff she elaborated on? I like that she confirmed a lot of stuff with the law stuff. And what do y'all think about any of that? What about you, Key?
um, I like, to me, it all kind of ties together too, like similar to what y'all was saying before, like with the Bible, also like with the reset and everything. It just seemed to me like another way to define the definition of the galaxy and the connection of everything as a whole, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And that's so interesting
With
to me.
yes. What I'm sorry, sweetie. Did I cut you off? What were you saying?
No. I was just saying that's so interesting to me because it just overall just kind of like, I feel like it's all the same definition, so to speak. It's just different
Yeah.
concepts of trying to put it
Mm-hmm.
together to add it up to the actual, the meaning of it, the
Yes.
point of
Right.
it all.
Mhm.
Facts. You know,
Thanks
it's
for
kind of
joining
like
us. Thanks for joining. Hold on, my God. Thanks for joining us, Wisdom. What's going on, brother?
No
peace,
problem.
wisdom.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Just coming up to support the show. That's about it.
Wisdom, you
Go
there?
ahead, Martha.
Oh, he
Yes,
might
ma'am.
be having a mic problem.
You
Can
can't
y'all
hear
hear
him,
me? I
sister?
get
I can hear
I
you.
think no, I think his mic is muted for
now.
oh,
No,
maybe he having an issue real quick.
I think
I
they can
can
hear me.
hear.
Yeah, we
Oh,
can
you
hear
can
I
you.
hear
can
him?
hear him. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Well, go
Let
ahead
me
and
go.
talk, brother. It's probably just something going on with me real quick.
I'm just gonna come back in for you.
You
Wait, let
said
me
they're gonna
see.
come
Uh,
back in.
hey, you know how like one way you could look at it is
Hold
like
on.
say
Wisdom?
he said he gonna come right back.
Oh, okay.
Yep, he gonna drop off and come right back. You know, like how they say you could throw a Hail Mary, and that's, you know, like go out there and catch this pass or whatever. It's like the world is kind of like that where everybody uh like like the sister just said, you know, say that's one version or that's how she see it, you know, that's how it fit with her, and that's what we get, you know, where she tell her perception of, you know, this existence, and it can come countless other ways where, say, if I could put mine together or you put yours together, it'll be what you call it, you know, and it'll all make sense where you can present something like she did. You know what I mean? It's so many ways to look at this. It's not one way. It's like, you know how everybody say be observing the football game, say he throw the Hail Mary, and just imagine this field being bigger than you can imagine. Where you go out for the Hail Mary, it's like everybody has their own points of view. It's like, you know how the concept of big brother watching or little brother watching. It's
Mm-hmm.
like expansion. You know,
Right.
the
Let me see
harder.
if I can let me see if I can hear Wisdom real quick. Wisdom, you there? I just want to make sure it's something. I don't know what's going on with this
Okay.
thing. You there, brother? Can y'all hear him? Because I still can't hear him.
No, I can't hear him
I,
now.
I don't even see him
I
on
don't
my
think he on
board.
there, Mom.
Really? It's showing. Let me see. I don't know what's going on. This is ridiculous. Are you there, brother?
That's
No,
them
I don't see
glitches.
it.
Mm. Oh well, we don't worry about it. He'll come back in.
Right. I don't even see his avatar on our grid right now.
No, it's showing
No.
over here. I might be having a
Oh
delay.
wow.
Maybe that's the problem. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about it. Like, you know, everybody observing is so many different points of views where we watch and say whatever is that topic, we'll all be observing it. And it's like where you could go out, you could expand the board. You know what I mean? As far as say one could throw the ball, this how big the plate is that we live on, say the earth.
Mm-hmm. Makes
It's like
sense.
it's a lot bigger than like we are in the center of the rings. Like where people get the layout, you know, like hey, y'all see that ring flat map, the flat earth map where it's like a ring ripple.
Mm-mm.
It's like center earth is the center, you know, and that's the center
Okay.
plate, but it's a lot of it's kind of built like a target a dart target board, you know how you throw targets. I
Oh
mean
yeah.
the dart at the target board.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it ripples like a drip in some still water. Like this is how the earth is really designed. Say that echo like ripple is inside of a spherical type of barrier. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Makes sense. Like the galaxy.
All right. Let's see. Brother Wisdom can get him in here now. Maybe I can hear. I don't know what was going on, brother. Let me see if I can hear you now.
You real clear. You real clear over here.
That's like really strange. I can't hear nothing. Don't hang up, brother. Just stay on there. If
I
they can
think
hear you,
I think I should drop off because I don't even see him on my
Oh, I
board.
don't
So
see it either.
it's
No, he,
crazy.
yeah, he's not. I can see him.
I don't know what's. Hold on. Let
that's
me see.
that's a glitch.
Let me try something else here. See what's going on. It might not even be a
But
glitch. It may just be my head. I swear I have like a warped internet here. I told you guys it's been the worst. I can't
mm-hmm.
even go to the chat. I'm trying to highlight the something else. It's pausing. Thanks for coming
Trust
through,
me,
Lyrica
we know
Neville. I
what you mean.
appreciate you showing up, sister. Appreciate you for showing some love. But I don't know what's going on. Just give it a second, guys. I don't know what it is, but I'm
Okay.
gonna try and get this
Hey,
going.
I continue. Hey, you know how, like, say in the Matrix film where they said everybody that if they ain't with you, they are totally against you. Said they'll fight for the system blindly
Mm-hmm.
to keep it going. They'll tell as quick as they see you. They gonna tell like where the agent turned into whoever saw the person they was chasing. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that dealing with perspective. You know, it's like where the dude Tupac say he was running around the Matrix and he made the Me Against the World album. But and then he made All Eyes on Me. And
Yeah.
that's kind of like
Wow.
Let's talk a
that.
little bit about this matrix. I wanted to kind of get into that, to be honest. I was
Yeah,
hoping
that's
that
where I'm at
wisdom.
with you.
No, but no, I'm trying to get specifically on what Sophia was talking about. She was talking about the womb being a matrix, what Alma was just saying. I wanted to kind of elaborate a little bit more on that. Alma, I wanted you to talk a little bit more about
Okay.
that as far as what you were saying. You were saying you didn't know it was in the Bible, but did you want to pull it up or check it out so we could see it or read it, or did you want to go a little bit more into that, sweetheart, or what?
No, not specifically because I don't
Okay.
know, you know, the which verse or you know. So, but I was like, let me see if I can recall what she said. Um, yeah, about it. Tell me out a little bit about
She talked about a lot of stuff. She was talking.
yeah. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, the matrix is it's basically like the ether. It's the how do you say that? The womb, the woman's womb.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
And you know how sis always talking about the phallus, and she talked about that a little bit too. She really covered a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of stuff that we talk about. I mean, it was like this none of this is unfamiliar except the law
That's
stuff.
hey,
I wasn't familiar with
hey, that's crazy because I was just, thinking like, is everything being born in this place? Like the Matrix can't exist without you, say, experiencing or you taking it, say from your first person point of view. It can't exist without whatever's being born through the womb in the phallus or whatever. So that's why they right there snatching you up at birth, just like they showed them machines kind of clamping on the baby, little baby pods. Without that, it is no matrix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and she mentioned something about like this, like a space, and I did come in late because I had to get off. But she mentioned something about like the space and how it's connected to the like how her concept of how she came up with the matrix. And I was trying to understand where she was like what part exactly was she referring to when she was talking about the space, because I wasn't sure if that was something I missed earlier.
That's right.
that. She
I
said
came in late too.
oh, she did say something about what did you say, sweetheart? She was saying something about the space in
Yeah,
particular.
about the space of, instead of it being like outer space, more so of it being like
Yes,
a space on Earth is what she was like
right.
explaining. I was trying to grasp what she was saying because I think that was part of the beginning that I may have
Think
missed.
we've talked about this before, sweetheart. You know how I say like I've given you the
Hmm.
example of you being in one space. Like say I'm here right now. I'm sitting in front of the computer, right? If I get up and I walk over to another area, I'm in a different space. They keep
Right.
saying we're going out of space, going outer space. There's only so far
Hmm.
they can go. They cannot go past that realm that keeps everybody in. So they're lying about that. They're not going
Mhm.
to space. You know, I say they're not going into space. They're talking about other things like we're going into Mars. They're talking about injections and they're talking, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot,
Mhm.
we don't want to talk
Mhm.
about that
Hmm.
real quick, but all those things.
Fire.
I see wisdom again. Are you there, brother, now or not? I don't know if I'm getting tricked on my screen or what.
I don't see it, ma.
I still don't see him.
It's
Hey, that's
crazy.
hey,
I see him.
It's
that's on
something with
fire.
I
Cause
think it's with the link, the yard link, maybe, ma.
You know what? Let me get on. I'm about to join you guys. Hold it down for 1 second, guys. I'm gonna join you guys on the phone. I think I'm gonna leave this stream. Let me open it up over here because something may be going on here and the
yeah.
internet slowing the drag.
Hey,
Give me just
I
a
got
moment,
a
guys.
point
I'll
of
be right back with you.
Okay.
okay. Hey, I got a point of view on that space thing too myself. And it's like, like you will wonder why you will have say your brain in that it sits in that compartment, your skull cavity, and nobody can see or touch it. It ain't gonna ever get touched. You know, that's would y'all agree that that's a say sector of space,
Hmm.
where your brain sits at your whole life?
Oh, you
So
are you
it's
talking
like
about like the right from your left, so to speak, of your brain?
or the
yeah,
subconscious.
yeah, yeah. Your brain sitting in your skull right now, like that's a space that belongs to it. Nobody can touch it wherever it
Mm.
goes. Like it's
They
always in that
say
space.
you use more one side than the other, which is what makes you an innovator, or I forgot the other word that they always say. I don't know if
Hmm.
that's the same concept of what you mean, but like,
It's not. I'm just saying, like, say,
Real
I'm
quick, I'm
talking
sorry. Can y'all hear me?
physical space.
mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
in
There
here
we
now,
go. Can
mom.
you hear me now,
Oh,
to the soul?
There you
there
go.
you go.
Look in
Yeah,
the
it was
fucking
something going on
matrix.
with
What
that
kind of shit
computer.
was
So
it?
sorry.
There you go.
What's
Uh,
going on with you, brother?
it's
What's
cool.
happening, Wiseman?
Just chilling, y'all. Just come to support the show. That's about it, you know. I
No
heard
doubt.
something that I could probably answer though to Sister Alma when
The
she was asking
Matrix.
about the
Yes.
matrix being in the Bible. Yeah, it's in Numbers
Thank
8,
you.
chapter 18, verse 15. Actually,
Ah,
Yeah, I just looked it up. You're right.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but yeah, you can elaborate, please.
Now that's it. You can go ahead. What you say?
what's
You
that?
pulled it
What
up.
is that
What it say? What it say,
about?
sister?
Yeah.
Oh,
What's up,
okay.
y'all?
Let me see.
Uh, I know. I was just speaking on the space
Hmm.
real quick.
Oh yeah, knock it out. Go ahead, mother. I was just
Say,
speaking.
say, you know where all of us sitting. You know, nobody can take that spot where you at right now, dealing with space. You know, like say, if you could shrink a room, say it was a fly bugging, literally bugging. But say if you could close that space in on the fly, you can just squish him. You know what I mean? But if you got a lot of it, it's gonna be hard for you to get him. You know what I mean? Like the space thing is real. It's just it's say it can expand and contract just like your belly. You know how the woman gets pregnant and she kind of blow up. That little sector is a pod of space. You know, y'all see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's weird to say that, right? It expands and contracts. It sounds like the breath of life, right? Which is the electromagnetism, basically.
Okay.
The wind
Yep,
and
just
stuff.
like real talk.
Just like the waters do. You know what I mean? They go in and out.
Mm, mm.
And it's still trying to
Just
represent the
imagine.
womb, you know? Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine that, bro. Like, kind of, trying to keep the walls from closing in on you. The space thing is real, and they, say the stories about people being in caves digging for diamonds. You know how things collapse on us. The space. I just seen it came across in the feed a boat at sunk, and it was 12 people on the dive. 11 of them died, but one person he survived like 3 days under the sea because he had a air pocket inside the boat. Y'all see that concept of space? That's all I'm saying. Like it can get big as your imagination.
So yeah, with all the stuff that she was talking about though, wisdom, we she did talk about a lot of stuff. Anything particular? I know you were saying about her being the oracle. She didn't really get to elaborate too much, but if you understand about the prodigy thing, I want to talk about that a little bit when it comes to that. And I just did a little video, a short video. I said I'm gonna do another one about superheroes and how they make these superheroes based off of us and our super abilities, the magnetic energy and the electromagnetism working with us in certain ways, and how we're able to tap into different abilities because of our chemical makeup, basically. She kind of elaborated on that in a sense of the intelligence aspect of it when it comes to child prodigies and children that are born with these abilities, and how a lot of times, how I always speak about how they try to disseminate this from the womb with like the ultrasounds, the infrared frequencies they send through the water of the womb. She kind of tapped into that a little bit. So that's the matrix. So starting the matrix when the baby's in the womb, and them trying to cause some type of effect of that baby, and mishandling that child when it's being having this proper growth in that womb, in that ionic water space. So then when it comes out, how they cut off the umbilical cord, we talk about the stem cells, they don't get all these things. So the kids that get all these things, I believe these are the ones that are born naturally with the abilities that all of us should have, where they say they're these prodigies, and they're these super intelligent children and so on and so forth. I believe this is a very, very normal
That's
capability
fire.
of a lot of us, you know what I'm saying? But because of the fact
that we're cut off and we're dipped into the matrix, and certain frequency codes are put into our being. This is, kind of what's happening. What do you think about that?
I think like we look at it broadly or whatever. When we think about the matrix, it's kind of like where you always speak about the waveform stuff. So right. So to me, it's like same thing as the matrix, and so it's like a uninterrupted waveform, so to speak, to where all information can flow freely from all directions, right, without any kind of lumps, like with the indoctrination and all this type of stuff, where it tends to block the straight path. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. The stagnated, like a sputtering water hose or something like that. You know what I mean? So, so that's how I see the matrix. And, and literally that the word matrix by definition means womb. You know what I mean? So it's not like, she's stretching or fetching or anything like that. The word matrix itself means womb. You see what I'm saying? And,
Yes.
So when you break that down and that it ended up being matter and mother, when you look at what mother is, and that's matter and everything like that. So it's just basically explaining science in a philosophical way, but not necessarily philosophical because it's real, right? But it can't be literally proven to where you can actually hold it. You know what I mean? You have to experience it. Let me say it that way. You know what I mean? It's something that you can't explain, you can't tell, you can't show. You just have to know. You have to experience the shit. You see what I'm saying?
I like the way that she like confirmed a lot of stuff, that we talk about all the time. It wasn't just so much about I know she was going to talk about certain things, and she was open to conversations about everything, but I like the way she just confirmed a lot of different things that we talk about, over the last few months. Just things that we know. And even with the media, when she touched on the media thing, I'm like, man, I be telling you, that was a waveform too. She really like touched on some stuff. It was really phenomenal for me. A lot of more. I just love confirmations as well. So I got a lot of that out of that. I'm just wondering if you guys got a lot of
Man,
information.
yeah, that media is a robot, ain't it?
Yeah, cause I thought I thought it was on the same time. So I came in at like 6:30. So I missed maybe like 15, 20 minutes. So maybe that's kind of like the stuff you're referring to, but I didn't really catch,
Okay.
her soliloquy on stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
yeah, she definitely went into just go back and see it, bro. She went into the media stuff a little bit, into explaining it like, it's a lie. Basically, when you're looking at this stuff, how we always be saying it's a lie, and you're getting this information, but it's like who's the best actor at telling this story to make people believe it. She really kind of explained it more simply. She didn't even elaborate a lot on it. She just explained it simply in the same terms of what we say, but real simple. Like, it's a book. You know how I always say that everything is just a book. It's like a whole actor book. They all got a part, they all actors and actresses, this is that. She literally said the same damn thing. She didn't say it exactly like that, but she said the same thing. She said it's all about the actors playing their role and who gonna play the role the best. When it comes to like each those Oscars and all that, you know what I'm saying? Who gonna do this?
That's what I'm
Who gonna
seeing.
do this particular thing, like to bypass to make sure they're getting in with certain people so they can get this title or whatever for this Oscar. I mean, she talked about a lot of stuff. She forget.
Mm. So it ain't about what you know, it's about who you know.
Yeah.
And she's the one that, like, if it wasn't for her, I would still be in the matrix. Like,
Facts.
she took me out of it. Like,
Oh
exactly.
yeah.
It looked like science that actually watched the movie and stuff like that, read a concept, and they're actually implying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what's really going on. They're employing what she's teaching. Like even with the Matrix 4 that she said is going to be about. I
Yeah.
guarantee you they're going to steal some of those ideas and they're going to
Yep.
build off of it because it's real. She's getting this information uninterrupted. You know what I mean? So she really knows what she's talking about. And so when it comes to they like the character and stuff like that, you guys just mentioning that's what the word person is. Like our life literally is a stage. Like you are on a stage and you are a character in the movie. Like it's
Talk about it.
literally like that. You know what I mean? The word person itself in its origin is a Middle English word from Old French, meaning persona, right? From Latin, persona is an actor's mask, is what it say. A character in a play, right? It say it later became the name, later being named human being. So before we was called human beings, we were called a person, which everyone knew it was an actor's mask, a character in a play. So when they say this, the world is a stage, they literally mean that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And, in the
literally.
arts, the arts and crafts is what's shaping the movie that you participating
that
in,
you
so to
watch
speak.
it.
You know what I mean?
But
Mm.
Exactly,
and
exactly.
when you say, let's elaborate on that. The arts and crafts is everything that you see. That's the senses. The arts and crafts would be the makeup. You know, when you think of arts and crafts, that's something
Talk
that makes
about it.
that makes something or puts things together, forming a creation, da 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 da. That's all the arts and crafts. So
Mm.
if you're thinking about the arts and crafts, that's the same thing as when you're getting the waveform. You're collecting the information, you're pulling it into your brain. Your brain is actually deciphering it and saying, "Okay, I'm going to make
Computing it.
a picture." I'm no, it's like it's forming the picture and actually just creating it. It manifests it off of everything that you're pulling in. So that manifestation or what you create comes from everything that you've pulled in, and that's that just like you said, it's like arts and crafts. You taking a little from over here. You might say, "Oh, let me make something real quick." You'll pull this thing, that thing, a little bit of this. That's the same thing the brain is doing when it's
Fact.
pulling all the information. So when it pulls the information in, it's going to take what piece of the stuff. Okay, I don't need this, but I'll use this. I don't need this, but I use this. Oh, this part looks good. The brain's doing the same thing when it comes to the wave formatting because what it's doing is putting together the puzzle. So now I'm going to create a picture off of all this information. So if you're pulling in a bunch of trash, you're pulling in when she even talked about the Google. We be talking about that all the time. You cannot be going believing all these Google searches, this information these people put in there. This stuff, most of this stuff is lies. So when you're going off all this information, you're going off information that you don't even know if it's truly factual. And then you're talking about it, or you're showing it, or you're proving it, or this, and that. If you can't prove or decipher that information to having a matter of fact with facts and truth to be able to present it, you shouldn't even be presenting it.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's exact.
That's right.
Look, the arts and crafts, it can become, say, deception, literally. It's the makeup in the back room, whatever color, say the kale and clay, the makeup comes from, types of soils. It's all dirt. And it's like, that's, say dirt is the root word to director. And you can't just slap on makeup. You got to know what you're doing. It's just like that, a painter painting a picture.
That where it boiled down to discernment. You know what I mean? Like so saying, like,
Hmm.
all information is good to an extent, so as far as like what your education level is. You know what I mean? But if you
Hmm.
don't know anything about a said subject, you are left to uh the mercy of
Figure.
whoever telling you. You see what I'm saying? It's like,
Yep.
but if you know something, you be like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. Nah, that ain't really saying that. I agree with that part, but I don't agree with this part. But but when you don't know, it's like what can you discern, And so I think that's why,
Wow.
I think like once you know yourself, I think that's why that's so important that people always say, know yourself, know thyself, know thyself. But truly, like once you know yourself, you would truly know anybody else, like for real. You know what I mean? You know how you feel when somebody speak to you and tell you to have a great day or something like that, or bless you, so to speak. You know how that makes you feel inside. So if you
Mm.
do the same thing to someone else, it's a 99.9% chance they're gonna take it the same way you would take it. You
That's
know,
right.
so once you like really like stand in that, you know what I mean, you can actually like create your own craft with your arts. You know what I mean? So yes, it's a sense of deception, but you're trying to get a certain result. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah,
Exactly.
I'm finna deceive you to be happy because I want you to treat me nice, goddamn. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, so to speak.
Mm.
That's right.
That's why you got so much paintings and people expressing themselves through that type of via painting or drawing. The arts. That's all we can do is, it's either that or you ain't gonna do nothing. Because you gotta convey, you know what I
We're
mean?
all
You got
artists. We all artists, right? Because we all creating the picture in our mind. So you would think that would make us an artist. That's what the artist is, a creator, right? And then
hmm
most of the time they're creating something. So in our mind, when we creating that picture that we project, that matrix that we're in, we're actually manifesting what we want to be a part of it. So in our mind, we got to always keep that, that positive thing, that good thought, the nature of always thinking, like I say, in the
Okay.
spirit mind versus the physical carnal mind. Thinking in the spirit mind is a way to keep a person more apt to always being more balanced when it comes to doing things. Because we all being in this particular state, we're gonna fall victim to doing things or being weak or maybe making mistakes or transgressions, but the part of staying grounded and making sure that you are focused on trying to be in the right mind and doing the right things on a day-to-day basis, these things become easier while we're bypassing them, and it's not happening as often. So the less that happens, the easier it is to be more in a spirit mind, thinking spirit, and being able to think of what's best for you and others around you and your environment. It's not just about me, it's about everything that I'm a part of. I'm a part of this earth and this world and everything around me. So
Mm-hmm.
I got to think on the likeliness of that. I'm a part of people that are in my environment, my personal life, and that are affected by me. So I'm responsible as well for those things. So I have to be careful, with making sure that I'm doing the correct balance that will actually help other people to stay balanced because they're a part of my world.
That's right. Literally, like, make it your intention to know what you're doing. Like, you don't have to claim to be a teacher, but it's like, everybody do see you. So you are, so to speak, leading by example. You know what I mean?
Right. We can
So
only
it,
lead ourselves, huh? So look, hopefully if I'm
mm-hmm.
leading myself, once I lead myself by the best example and doing everything that I need to do for me, that's right. The example is somebody else looking at me, they're gonna say, oh wow, look at that. She's doing this and that. Let me try that. She's always happy,
I
she's
get it.
always smiling, she's, always encouraging people to look out for other people, or she's doing that. Just like, people used to get me in my emotions and my feelings. I used to get all upset, and then I'm acting a nut or a fool, and people looking like, well, dang, Sister Soul, she doing all that. Da, da, da. I had to look like, wait a minute, that's not a good example. I'm getting upset, and I'm like, oh, forget them. They're making me feel away, or somebody's coming against me. I can't let something affect me where I'm not being myself, because something that I thought somebody offended me, and they may not have even offended me. It could have been just the way that I took it. I thought they meant this and they said that, so I thought they were saying that, just a
That's right.
perception of the person's words, all those things. So, getting upset about things a lot of times, you can't just let a person affect you and then it
Mm,
affects your persona, or it affects you to a way that
wow.
you're presenting yourself differently. And then when others are looking at you, they see you in a different light. And then that's not the light that you want to represent, because you want to be of a full light. You want to be of a good light that is
Positive, or
shining
yeah,
through. So yeah.
You can't let
where people can approach.
What were you saying, honey?
no, I said like you can't let others dim your light.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's like an example of being caught in the matrix versus controlling it.
that's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Frozen.
Yeah, that's like one of them, what you call it, reminds me of one of them glitches again. Like, whoa,
Paused in it.
caught me off guard, and then tied me up in a knot. You know what I mean? I don't want to be right here. I'm being placed here against my will. So you have to untangle yourself. Whether it's like
Mm-hmm.
calming yourself down, recognizing ahead of time, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. To untangle yourself out of that knot. Because you can keep fighting in the night,
Mm.
not just continue getting tighter and tighter and
Tighter.
tighter. You see what I'm
We done
saying?
all been there too. I can't
And you know
deny that
what?
I've been there in life,
And how you really get out of it? You got to relax, right? It's like
Relax,
in
yeah.
water, you about to drown. You have to just relax, be calm. So that's the same thing with anger. When it's building up, you have to find out a way to be able to calm it down and simmer it down, which is not
Mm.
always easy to do. But that's the ultimate goal, though. You see what I'm saying? That's where it goes to knowing yourself. That's the ultimate goal, like being able to control what you don't want to happen in your life. Basically, it's like you dictating everything that happens in your life. So if something happens that you don't plan for or expect, you know what I mean?
Mm.
To me, that means you must be out of order in some type of way, because everything that happens in your life is supposed to be welcome, because every decision that you make has a counter reaction to it. You see
Talk
what I'm
about
saying?
it.
So it's something
Mm.
you did to receive a certain result, no matter what it is. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So
That's
that's
right.
yeah.
So when you
And it'll
do
make
something, when you make a mistake, right? Even that, right? A lot of times we get so upset. It's like, oh man, I did this and I meant to do that. So you get upset because you didn't do things the way you wanted and it didn't turn out the best. Or something happens that just turns around from what your plan was because we planned it to go this way. We planned it to be this
Mm-hmm.
way. Something else happened. We can't get upset about those things. It's not going to help us. That's just going to bring that negative energy back to enforce whatever's going on wrong and help that along the way. Instead of thinking positively about it and saying, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna let this bother me. This happened, but what I'm gonna do is move forward and see what I can do to make this turn around because I need something positive. Right now, I can't deal with this. You know what I mean? It's all a mind state.
Right.
The
Because like
energy.
that's right. It'll get to the straw that'll break the camel's back.
Were you trying to say something, Key?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got it,
the
sister.
energy. Like, right? Like it's all about the energy and what you choose to, and I know we talk about this mind, like, but what you choose to put yourself into versus the positive energy. It's
Yes.
still pulling. It's like pulling like the electromagnet of that energy.
Yes. Exactly. You focusing on it, it's the focusing on it. It's like so let's look at that weight scale, right? This is a negative, this is a positive. So now here goes something negative come. Now that weight scale going down, you got your positive, it's like uplifting because it ain't got as much weight with it, that negative. And then if you're gonna direct some more negativity toward this shit, it's gonna shrink it more than that, you know what I'm saying? That
Hmm.
positive is even it's drifting even more denser and you can't even reach it because now it's got so much density because you so more into this heavyweight of this negativity. It's like I'm trying to reach over here, and it's like, wait a minute, you so off balance that that way down here, you
Wow.
got to reach way up here. You know what I'm saying? How
Hmm.
can you make that leap? You got to make a big leap then.
Yes.
Mm. Take a deep breath. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
You gotta
That's
go
that's
with the
real deep what
flow.
you said. That's right. Got to go with the
Mm.
flow. And then on the other hand of that too, right? Because most of us, I guess I would say most of us, but how I would see it, most of us would try to strive for the positive in life. You know what I mean? I wouldn't necessarily see nobody just want to be angry and stuff like that. But we do know there are people that thrives off that. You know what I mean? They don't want
Yeah.
positivity. They like negativity. They like all the worst shit. You see what I'm saying? So keeping that in mind too is another thing that I try to use when I'm aware of it. You know what I mean? That some people just don't want peace. They don't want accord. You know what I mean? They want discord. So once you see that too, then you can just resist that as well. You're like, oh, okay, I tried to reason with this person. This person don't want reason. So that's when you know this person is just they like living in that space. So that's when you have to decide to separate yourself from them, or
That
you
part.
become
Mm.
entangled. You know?
Yes, because some people they like the adrenaline because it gives them a rush, so they're always on the edge.
Let's talk about that a little bit. You hit on a good point, babe. You're right. Talk about that. So it's like a
Mm.
feeling that gets so say that one more time and elaborate on that because that's a good point.
Wow.
Um, you know how people just they like to cause drama even if you're trying to be peaceful,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm.
like because they wanna get that energy, they like their adrenaline to rush through their body, so it
Mm.
keeps them at edge all times. Um,
Scaring them.
yeah, and even like when they get you upset, because like getting upset is a choice you make, so they like that they can draw it out of you. um,
Mm-hmm.
and then they feed off your anger, all the energy that you release, and it gets them even more excited, like the adrenaline.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like food
Mm.
for them. It's their fuel because that weight of that energy, that negative energy, it is gonna give them that like the superhero get that certain power. You're giving
Mm-hmm.
them their power. How you say it a lot of times about giving the person your power. So
Yeah.
that's like giving them their power, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the more you piss off the Hulk, he get bigger and greener.
That's
He
right.
get meaner
You
and
get
tougher.
charged, right?
Every time. Yep.
See,
You could be little as a flower. You know what I mean? Slap him in his face like, motherfucker. He gonna get a little madder. You know what I'm saying?
You
So it's
notice,
like, oh,
you know how they say every time you say something that and they're like getting mad, and they're like
mm,
they always ask, what did you say to me? And if you
What you
repeat
say?
it, they get even more angrier.
Ooh, look, they stumping left and right and front. Oh, what he say?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh no, he
He just
didn't. Yeah.
your mama.
See, but this to
What
me,
would
like,
you
Oh,
say, Tiara?
it ties into
mm,
that energy still, right? Because like
Yeah.
even I'm gonna bring it up. It's like that narcissistic bad relationship, and that could be with a
okay.
friend, that could be with a relationship, that could be with a job. You put in so much energy into, let's, we could tie it back into the show, man. Like, you put so much energy into that space that
Mm-hmm.
you're taking away from your good energy. You taking away from
Okay.
where you should be putting your energy and time into. And this is a struggle that we all go through. This is a struggle that everybody faces, because a lot of people don't understand, the education of who they are, and what they can do, and their abilities. And I
Yeah.
think that that's a big deal, because I myself struggle with it as well. Like trying to see where the spaces are supposed to be. But it just reminds me so much of the Matrix. It reminds me so much of that concept of space and
Mm.
everything else that we've been talking about tonight.
So
Yes.
That's right.
so so it's like you know how like in the Matrix the whole room would change quick as they loaded it up, like the four rooms, the ceiling. Look, that
Mm-hmm.
space, they just switch it up. It's like how many spaces do you hit, you know, each cycle where you wake up and some people just sitting in the same spot.
Yeah.
Mm,
It's like when the room changes, it's like how you change your mind, because the image, it shifts in your mind, so you see
Mm-hmm.
mm.
everything different. So it's all about your mindset,
That's
how you
right.
perceive your reality.
That's right.
That's Hey, that's crazy. I had my head up under a car half the day yesterday, so like my space was all metal pipes and you know what I mean, oil and all of that crap yesterday. My space was kind of confined, and I was under a lot of trees.
And
You
like the
know,
sisters,
like
you were just my bad, man. I thought you was finished. My bad.
you good. Go ahead, G. You got it,
But now
bro.
I was just gonna respond on what the sister was just saying about like how it's kind of hard to stay, like when you to keep your energy all the way charged up when people keep depleting it from you. And so
Mm-hmm.
like it's like basically like the distraction program, because the opposite of concentration is distraction. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so like once you know that, it's like as soon as you just say I'm going to do this, like you have it made up in your mind. I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. And it
Mm.
seems like everything that you say you gonna do is something trying to go against it. You know what I mean? It's like I
Wow.
just said I wasn't gonna do this shit. Like let's say you say you weren't gonna loan nobody no money, right? I ain't loan nobody no money. I don't give a damn. You know what I
Nothing.
mean? I don't give a fuck, right? And
First
then
thing
somebody
you had
come,
to do.
yeah, you know what I mean? Somebody like, hey man, my life about to get cut off or whatever. Like it's a situation where you just you gonna be being a straight up asshole to say no. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's like,
Mm-mm.
ain't this some shit? Like
Yeah. And
so
if
it's
you
like
do
in
what you
those situations, I didn't want to say this right quick. The two minds are right. It's like when we
respect,
talk
bro.
about staying true to yourself, right? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what's more important? This person that's coming out here out of nowhere, or yourself when you say, hey, I'm not gonna go for it. I don't give a damn what come up. So you're supposed to be ready for whatever comes. Like, I don't give a damn if you saved your last leg. I don't
Talk
care.
about it.
I ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's when you stand true to yourself.
Mm.
But when you fold, it's like you putting yourself back
You
into a
didn't.
loop again, so to speak. Like,
Right. Right.
Wow. And you become a monster to that person that you had to say no to.
that's right. But then that monster that you became for that person, right? You might become their savior as well. Because now they might not depend on you no more. They might use their own brain to figure out how to come
Mm-hmm.
up with what they need. You see what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
Mm.
y'all have a good benefit, but are you willing to do what it takes? Are
To
you willing
take,
to
yeah.
stand on what you say? You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? So
Because if you
it
don't
is
do it,
real, man.
like
What's
if you
going on,
don't
J
say
Man?
no,
Mm-hmm.
What's
peace,
up,
J
man?
Ma.
Oh, what's going on, fam?
J-Mod.
Y'all keep
Respect
Peace,
to the
Jedi.
brother.
what's
Everything is
going on,
everything.
Alma, Sister Soul, Wisdom. Who we got?
Respect, man.
Mine's Eye. What's up, man? And we got
It's another one.
Cola Vibe. What's going on? Ain't that seen you before?
Hello.
That's
Great
I'm
to
my
see you.
that's my
Yes.
daughter, brother.
Oh, it's your baby.
Oh, that's
Oh,
your
I
daughter.
didn't
Okay,
know
that's your
Okay,
that.
now it
baby.
all makes sense. Oh,
Well,
okay,
well, look,
now
that's
it
not my
makes
baby.
sense.
That's my oldest.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't
Oh,
know. No one
Congratulations
knew.
to you.
Man, we
Welcome
ain't
to the
knowing
panel.
this.
no, I didn't
We
know that.
Straight up.
Yeah, that's my
Great,
baby.
great to see you, sir. You part of the family as
Greatness.
well.
Yes, this
That's
is
right.
this is
That's
Mm.
Auntie
right. Cause I
Alma.
would listen to her. I was like, yeah, she sounds like she know what's going on. You know what I mean? She asked some questions. You know, so now it all makes sense. Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, again.
Yes, nice
That's
to meet
super
you.
right there.
I'm your new Auntie Alma.
Well, nice to meet you. And I think that
This your
you
Uncle J Man right here.
Yeah, Uncle Wisdom.
Yes, the
Hey,
I,
believe
family.
me,
I
she know
I'm
about all
grown.
of us already. Believe it. You better believe when Sister Sophia pissed off, she get off and she cuss everybody out. You're like, hold
Yeah, she
on,
know
mama.
it,
You know
mama.
what I mean? These folks got you mad as fuck. Wait a
listen.
minute. Yeah.
Hey, that what family do, man. We argue, fight, then we come back together and
Talk
eat good.
about it.
We
Talk
come
about it,
together and have
man.
some good soul food. You know what I'm saying? Some
Mm.
good food
There
for
you
thought.
go.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what it is, man. It's you know, it's with your family. That's what the battle is. Like, you know, motherfuckers would rather shoot it out all night than, you know, speak this or you know, carry yourself like growing women and men. Because we not grown, we growing every day.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Ain't nobody
Wow.
grown here. Like
Wow.
how that
That's
old
crazy.
that
Like when
so
you grown, you done, right?
you yeah, you finished.
You finished.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You ripe. You ripe for the picking. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like you ready to
it's
get picked
over
up
for
and
you.
ate up.
Fact.
Ate up
So
by the ether. You know what I'm saying?
so is that all the people, you know, look at how vicious the spell is, man. So you
Mhm.
think you know it all. It's time for you to get on
Yep.
up out of here.
Yep. You out of the school, right? I mean, out of the school.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah, you
graduate.
skip it.
You don't
Hmm.
graduate your school.
You gotta go where we can't see you now, since you know it all.
It's like when you think you know it all, like how good can you teach then, right?
Yeah, that
Mm.
part.
You know
That's
what
the
I
real.
mean?
That's the
It's
real
like you
test, though.
graduated, huh? You know what I mean? Now let's see if you can teach somebody that shit you talking about then. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
hey,
Mm.
that's the tester right there, wisdom. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people can't, like, a lot of
They
people
can
can't
do it,
put
but
that
they
shit into
can't teach it.
words, bro.
That's right.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's hard.
That's a big ass difference,
That's
man.
a whole nother process, bro. Like
Yes.
getting the knowledge is one process. Conveying
Uh-huh.
this message to other people is a whole nother process, bro.
And that's
That's
after you
right.
do it,
Ooh.
right? Because you can't
Mhm.
because you can't teach it unless you're actually doing it. So
That
first
part.
of all, the
Mm.
process is learning it. The next process is actually applying it. Then
Mm.
when you see what works and what don't work, you should teach.
Man, come on,
Mm.
man. Folks out here
See,
Hey,
skipping
man.
steps, man.
wow, look, skipping. Look, I was just about to ask you that, J Ma. So in
Yeah.
all essence, it's like every time we come back, it's like a big gap in between the voices where are we stuttering?
Hmm.
You know, like we
It's
gonna
hot
get it right
stop.
today. Right, we gonna
Hot.
get it right today. You know how we
Yeah.
wake up every day,
We're
and
gonna
it's like
learn today.
we keep saying the same shit in different ways. It's like, yeah, we stuttering, but we not stuttering.
You
It's
know why
like
we stuttering, right? We stuttering, right? Because we hung on to, each day is a new rebirth, man, or a new birth. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
The guy from yesterday is dead. You feel me? That's why we
Mm,
wake up in the morning. We mourning
mm.
yesterday's death. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? We kind of stuck on that.
Facts.
So that's why
Facts,
we
you
got
died
to move
yesterday.
on. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to take that, just like how our grandfather died. He died, but he left us with something to do. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So that's how we got to, you know what I'm saying,
So we
rise up with our
study
mourners. Yeah.
mm,
That's how we got to
every
rise up in
day.
our
The study ring, huh?
mourners.
Mm. So
Say that.
everybody is
Like
like where you
you
go to
gave birth yesterday to you today. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So pay homage
every
to you from yesterday. Type
look,
shit.
look, J Ma, every
Mhm.
day, every night. So it's like that. Do we leave and we come back to earth?
Yes, sir. Yeah. For
I
sure.
think so, for sure.
For
Mm,
sure. Every night.
I think we trade places every day.
Mm-hmm.
mm.
Trading
I think-
places. Remember that movie?
That's right.
Yeah.
Like that's really what I really need
Randolph.
I need to really put that on paper though. Like my
He done
philosophy
ran off.
about that though, because that's serious.
Randolph.
Yeah,
Randolph on the plug twice.
It's a
that's right.
Damn.
possibility that we have maybe. I feel like I don't know, like we were spirits, like and because before we were spirits, right? So I feel like we still maintain our spirit and our souls, and I think they come from past lives as well, like
Mm,
reiterated almost. But you know, we're learning still, I suppose. But yeah, that's what my concept is.
That's
You
all right.
totally right.
That's it. That's it, man.
Because think about it, right? If the average person only live for let's just say to be modest about it, 120 years, right? 130 years. So that means every fucking 135 years. You know what I mean? How do we know that everyone's not recycling right back again? How do we know that?
You know,
That part.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense to me because it's not like we can remember if that is or wasn't the case. You know what I mean? Like hell, you don't know where the hell you just came from. So as far as you know, you did just come from another, you know, from your past life that you just lived 180 years or whatever, and now you're doing it all over again in the next cycle. So whoever was before you the first time you came, it's the same people that's before you this time. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Hey,
as long as you've been living, you always been told you had an old soul, right?
listen. You heard that? I've
Hey,
seen it in kids. So many kids too. Like you can tell. Like, wait a minute, you been here before?
man.
Seriously.
Hey, look at that. It's like that little Chinese doll where it'd be a doll inside of a doll inside of a
That's the
doll
Russian
inside of
dolls.
a doll. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Russian. My fault on that for butchering that. You know what I mean? I went Michael Myers, my bad. You know what I'm saying?
You
But
were just
it's
Russian. You know, Russian.
yeah. Look,
Wait a minute.
Hey, you got the point across
You
too,
had it.
shit. Cause you know what you meant.
yeah.
We
Hey,
know what you
hey,
meant. We
it's
know what
like
you
it's
meant.
You were just rushing. That's funny, man. Go ahead, man.
right. It's just like that, man. Where say every body that manifests through you, like for every one of them, that'll be say the year. So it's like, yeah, you would never die. You know what I'm saying? Because your baby takes your place before you leave. It's like you see them in and they see you out. It's just like that. Your siblings, you know what I'm saying? And where they see you out, they take your place. It's like, yeah, you still sitting right there. And I don't know if the cycle does like we was just saying, but did anybody on this stream just happen to see the news today or hear them talking about any type of treasure?
A treasure? They were talking about the treasure?
Yeah, they was talking about sunken ships over here in my state where I'm at. And I know the news is slightly the same everywhere.
Hold up, Mind's Eye. Ain't you like
Okay?
in the Midwest or something?
I'm in the middle of America, man.
Ain't no ocean by you, but go ahead.
You hear me? But it's look, it's bodies of water. Look, and ain't that weird? That's weird. You know what I mean? Cause I am centered, like I'm the lint in the belly button.
So what they were saying
You
then,
know,
man, what they talking about treasure then?
talking about treasure being, they talking about the most expensive treasure, and they was talking about sunken ships and gold and this things of this nature. Like one man's trash is another man's treasure.
That's right.
That part.
So it's like it's all trash, but it's say different values on it. You know what I mean? But it's like if they find the nugget of gold in the sea, like everybody gonna be on the news with it, smiling. You know what I'm saying? But it's just trash.
That part, bro.
You can bring up
it's like bringing $1 million, right, to this tribe that been living off the lands for hundreds of years, and you bringing them $1 million. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Let's burn this shit. Thanks for the firewood.
Right.
Yep. We put the value on the trash. You know what I mean?
That part.
Like we feel like a fool for doing it.
You
savage. You just burnt $1 million, you idiot. You know what I mean? Straight up.
You wouldn't want to be caught dead jumping in the trash can through the spaghetti and getting things out of that. But you wouldn't have a problem with deep sea diving. But it's all the same thing.
Nigga, he talking about the trash can with the spaghetti string on his head.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'll be painting the picture, bro. I don't seen that before, for real.
That's what you call it, right? On Sesame Street. Ain't that
right. Yeah.
Man, you took it right off my man.
Yep.
Oscar the Grouch.
Oh, that's Grouch. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you know how they be like, how they say, man, you talking trash, but a trash can. Look, a trash can Yeah, yeah. Look, a trash can is a
Trash
tall
can.
can.
It
It's a
can't.
tall can. It's always talking trash.
Mm.
The
Cause the
trash is
trash
like a
can, it ain't called a trash can, right? So it
mm,
can't do
it's
anything, right?
eating up
Damn.
all that shit we don't want. It's like a mouth. It's
It can do
sitting
anything.
everywhere.
And what do they
The
do
trash
with
can do
trash
anything.
though? They recycle
They
trash, right?
recycle it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Treasure,
Hey,
treasure.
yeah,
Trash
Like
of
a chest
treasure.
full of gold is a trash can.
It's like us being
yeah.
trash,
The
being
needle in the
born. You know what I
haystack.
mean? It's like
Mm.
we
The
we the
needle in
we
the
the we the
haystack.
waste
Yeah,
products of sex. You might as well
That's
say.
what Huey always say, don't he? We the shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
we are. They call it germ cells.
Look, you just slam dunk the toilet in
That's
this
what
book.
we is.
They literally say we germ cells. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah, the toilet. You
Yeah,
know, we going to the can.
like sit.
we form from algae and shit. That's what they
Yeah,
All
do.
of
Mm,
most of our cells are bacteria.
mm.
all of them are. You know what I mean? But
Hey,
but
hey,
but they were saying some is good and some is
So,
bad.
well,
Most of
that's
them
what
is
I mean.
good.
The
Ain't that some
negative.
shit? So
Man, they be
hey.
constipated the
That's
fuck out of themselves,
that's
saying
crazy.
shit, bro.
mm.
It's like you try to look, you look up shit. Like I was just looking up. This is perfect example. Turpentine. I don't know if I know anything about this shit.
Ooh,
Okay.
turpentine
Yeah,
strong.
I'm familiar.
If you look this shit up and just straight a real quick right over research on Google type shit, they gonna tell
Okay.
you 50-50. They gonna tell you it's toxic, it's dangerous, and then the next slide is gonna say this helps you with toothaches and pains and all. And then the next one will say don't drink, it's toxic. Then the next one say it helps you with this. I'm like, bro,
Right.
See, right there,
they
that
ain't
was
really
my
like why
bad.
they tell you good shit, bad shit. Like which one
Go
is
ahead, sister. My bad.
No, I was just saying oxymoron.
it? Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That where the discernment come in at again. Just like what you were saying. You
Mm-hmm.
were like, hold up, wait a minute. On
Mm-hmm.
one hand it's good, on the other hand it's bad. Now I gotta look deeper into this shit. You know what
Yep.
I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah,
Hey,
so I know somebody that's really doing that shit and using that shit and like breaking up out of himself, literally type shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
if y'all know the dude Grim, if y'all know the dude Grim Nasty on YouTube,
No,
y'all need to check
Grim
him out.
Nasty.
Yeah,
What you say, bro? He do what?
Grim Nasty, bro, like breaking out of his he breaking out of his skin. You know, like the shit on Black Panther
Mm-hmm.
when it showed you dude with all the bumps and shit.
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
that shit started growing on his whole body.
Wow.
Like when he basically fast for like a month, sun gaze for like 12 hours a day type of shit. Like bro been doing some real strenuous shit. You know what I'm saying? To
Hold
break
on,
up
hold
out of
on.
his shit.
That's
He getting all the mucus out of his body, all the film. Like he don't had shit come out his ears, eyes, all of that shit. So now
Oh, he
Oh,
he's
detoxified
hey,
seeing on a whole
himself.
he's seeing on a whole nother level now. So no,
he
he be
shape
explaining
hey,
what he's saying.
he's
Hmm.
he's shape shifting. He's able to do
look at that.
Hmm.
the things that I've been talking about more recently, which is
Man,
crazy.
he doing that shit, bro. Yeah,
Stuff
he doing it.
coming into light. So everything that I was
Mm.
saying about the shape shifting thing and about using your light, being able to shift your energy, and it's all about being able to form the molecule and the light energy into a certain way. This is what the only thing that shape shifting is. It's just light frequency. So
Mm.
Yep.
that's what he's
What
able
what
to
what
do.
what, what they told you about Buddha? Say he sun gazed for 3 days and fucking ascended. Like they telling you something
Because
right there.
but listen,
That light you turn into straight light. Yeah.
I did a build on it a couple of weeks ago. It didn't get too many views as usual, but I did a build on the
I
sun gate,
missed it, my bad.
literally explaining that this is literally what I this is me now. This is what I felt in proving that what the unveiling is when they be talking about in the Bible when it's talking about unveiling of this, unveiling, blah blah blah. Because what happens is when you do a certain amount of sun gazing, you get the phonic retinopathy, which is the unveiling of the layer of skin over your eyes.
Yes.
Once that layer of skin is revealed, there's a hole that's built in the retina of the eye. So now you're able to receive certain information and light coding through that hole.
That
What it
motherfucker crack open.
opens portals, opens up you to be able to see things, telepathy, all this. If y'all interested in this at all, you can literally go to my page and view this whole video I did on. I explained everything. I talked about it. I told you
Okay.
we gave all the warnings as to how to start off slow, so it doesn't really freak you out and scare you because you will start to see like certain lights. You'll start to see shadows, orbs, different things. I mean, it may be freaky to you if it's something that you not aware of. So I did give a little bit of a description onto how to slowly get into it so that you're able to do this if it is something you want to manifest into your life, but it's just something you have to do cautiously and you have to be aware of it. So it is something they consider to be a damaging of the eyes, but it's not a damaging of the eyes because how could it when it opens up portals to the mind, spirit as well, giving you certain vision and giving you certain frequency waves where you're able even to see extended colors and things. So that's just something to think about. Y'all check that video out if you're interested.
I'm glad you
That's
made that
right.
disclaimer too, as for letting people know to like to be cautious and don't just go head first. You know what I mean? Because I used to be an avid sun gazer myself, and you know, like, hey man, it's serious, you know, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know, people. Okay, you know, I did it unintentionally though. It's not like I was studying. Everybody said sun gaze shit. I just naturally just started doing it. I don't know why. I don't know what the hell made me start doing it, but I did. No, actually, I do know why. Like I used to, you know, sit around and smoke every morning before I was going to work. And one day I was doing this. I used to do this every day before the sunrise, not intentionally. I was just doing it. And so one day the sun was coming up, and I saw like a rainbow in front of my face, like colors, like literal colors. Like, oh, like wait, what the fuck going on? I literally see colors, and I was like, hold. I started talking to myself, like, is these colors I'm seeing? So you know, I kind of did the blank my eye thing, and put my head back in the same position it was in, and I'll be damned, it was colors again. So I realized the color was coming from the sun. You know what I mean? So I just started like kind of like training myself to look at it more and stuff like that. I was just in awe about it. Honestly, I was doing this shit for like months. I just couldn't believe that I was actually seeing the colors of the light spectrum. You know what I mean? And so I was just doing it over and over. But like Sister was saying, like you don't want to just go right into it. See, because okay, this is what my main point is that, you know, people look at when we say about talk about this enlightenment and stuff like that, like it's gonna be so fun and just so great and just so it's not like that at first. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have to be serious about it. Like this is a concentrated effort type shit. Like you gotta want this shit. You know what I mean? So it's not nothing you're gonna be able to play around with. You just think you're gonna get enlightenment, or it's gonna be the same way it happened when I did it, or it's gonna be the same way when Sister Soul did it, or mine's out anybody else. No, everyone's going to have their own experience. You know what I mean? So and it's all based on what you know, what you focused on, though. You see what I'm saying? So like it basically for me, it kind of told me what my life purpose was. You see what I'm saying? So everyone has a different life purpose. You know, so once you realize that, everything else just gonna fall into place. Like I'm just happy that she emphasized the fact that not to take it for granted, not just go out there and just go head first. You know what I mean? And you fuck around and go so high you can't come back down. Because that's what happened to me. You see what I'm saying? I almost didn't make it back down to this motherfucker. You know what I mean?
That's what I had to explain in the video too. I really went over there letting people know that, you know, you have to be cautious and giving the best, giving the best amount of time to start with so that you don't overwhelm yourself, because it could be very, it could be a lot.
Look, it's like say a little.
Mama, you about to be out, sis? I know it's about late. It's late over there.
Oh wow, yeah, I just saw it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Go ahead and get your speaker on. Anything else you want to say before you get out of here?
No, I'm gonna keep listening if I don't fall asleep, but I'll be in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a good night, sister.
Yes, much love.
Much love.
Thanks for joining us, sis. Appreciate you as always. You know it.
Yes. Much love.
Greatness to you, baby. Hey, it's like, you know, say a little child get a big catch. That's what this knowledge is like. It can reverse on you and you be the one pulled into the water. You know what I mean? And you'll have to let go of your fishing rod, or you can hold on. But it's like you can scare yourself like that when you wake up to your knowledge, because it's like it's not very complicated when you find your purpose. You know, it's not like you gotta go all out and specifically stick to something. It's like everything you'll do, you'll righteously be doing everything on purpose. That'll be your purpose. Like, you know, everything you doing, like you would know it ain't nothing nobody can say. Like it's like everything you'll be doing, it wouldn't be you know how people judge you all the time. You know what I mean? It'll be where nobody could judge you. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Or
man. Because
they
it got to
couldn't
the
say you
point.
was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You got it, wisdom.
I want to elaborate on that point, as you
Yeah,
said,
say
right?
that.
Because, like like I said, I got caught up, and I was looking at the sun everywhere I went until my eye was literally going crazy to an average person that was looking at me. Like my wife, for instance, you know what I mean? She was like, "Nigga, do I need to check you in, boy? Like, I go get you that jacket now. You need one. You know what I mean? This is a real life story." I was like, "Man, fuck all that. I'm on to some shit. You just don't know." You know what I mean? But I was looking like I was really crazy. You know what I mean? Like I go to places and I just stand in the middle of nowhere because basically based on what you're saying, Miles, about like not caring what a person think about you and stuff like that. It's like, let's say if nobody else in the world know the truth, just hypothetically, right? And you happen to be the only one that know it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, what price are you willing to pay for that? You see what I'm saying? It's like, damn, can I be like, damn, don't nobody else know? Or I must be wrong. Or like something I know for sure. I can show somebody else. You know what I mean? Am I gonna tell myself, fool myself, to not know what I'm knowing because don't nobody else know what I'm knowing? You see what I'm saying? So what I was doing, I was literally standing in a public place. I was just fascinated. I ain't give a fuck. I was tapping out of the earth. You see what I'm saying? I was like, man, fuck this earth shit. I don't give a fuck about none of it. I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? Everybody fend for themselves. You know what I mean? I'm free. You know, that's how my mind really was set. So I was just staring at the goddamn sun, just staring. I know people was riding by, looking at me like, look at this weirdo. And I was just thinking, like, I don't give a fuck what they think. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because I know I was looking crazy as hell. Like, why this nigga just standing out nowhere? And I was thinking in my mind, I was like, maybe I'm actually probably invisible to these fucking people. So I was going out there, man. I was like, I probably so concentrated. These people probably don't even see my ass when they riding by.
I heard you.
You know,
I heard you.
That's why they made the world the way it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? To kill their individuality. That's why they made schools and this the way it is and tell you this the right, this wrong. You know what I'm saying? Try to give you borders, put you in a box.
Many different.
That's right. And
so many different avatars.
I had to entertain the concept, right, of people probably not even seeing me because it was a real thought. I was like, I glanced at the car every now and then, right, to see if somebody actually looking at me. These folks were not even looking at me. It was like, fuck you, nigga. I don't give a damn about your retarded ass still on the side of the street. You see what I'm saying? And I had to think about it. I was like, how many people do I actually care about every day when I see them? You know what I mean? You see a person just walking down the street, you ain't really think about that person. Okay, person just walking down the street, or a person just doing this, you don't really care.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
You minding your own business.
Exactly. Basically. And that's what everybody else doing. But we tend to think we more important than we actually are. And that's what we fuck up. You see what I'm saying? Instead of like saying, being that light to do whatever you chose to do, and if somebody gets gain some kind of inspiration from that, then that's fine and dandy. You know what I mean? But in most cases, like artists and stuff like that, they tell you all the time, hey, I still get stage fright when I get on stage. You know what I mean? And all this type of thing. But we wouldn't know that. They're kicking ass on the stage. So we think, oh, they got so much courage. And no, they scared as hell on the stage right now while you watching. You see what I'm saying?
A lot of them, though, they tap into their other entities when they go on stage so that they don't have to
alter ego.
That's what I'm talking about. That same person that I was tapping to, that like, hey, nigga, you give a fuck about what they think, or you recognize what's real, what's going on in you right now. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? But that still don't negate the fact that your flesh still nervous. You know what I mean? But it's all about overcoming that. That's when you actually becoming the master of your flesh. You know what I mean? When you actually let your flesh become a servant or a slave for your spirit or soul.
For you.
Exactly. Versus the other way around, right? So because most of us are living letting our flesh be the master and our soul and spirit take second place, take back seat.
That's
why
live by the spirit. You got to
live. That was deep.
You have to walk by the spirit. You have to think by the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Everything we do got to be, walking in the spirit. If you're not walking in the spirit, you're going to be walking in the carnal mind. I say it 1,000 times. It's all in the mindset. If you're the current thinking of it that way, it's like, if I get up in the morning, I'm going to think of like, what am I going to be doing? Everything that the world thinks I should be doing, or am I going to be doing everything that the spirit wants me to do? Let's just say it like that. It's just that simple. When I get up, I'm going to be thinking about now what's going to be beneficial to you know, something that's either going to benefit me, somebody around me, the earth, putting out a word about someone else being enlightened to the spirit, you know, letting them know what's really going on, bring them out of bondage, you know, bring them out of the spelling, this and that. You know, what am I going to do that's going to help that person? Or am I going to get up thinking about something in the carnal mind, something in the physical mind? Oh, I got to get up today. Oh, let me see what I got to do. I got to do this. I'm going to go do this. I need to do this. I need this. Well, if that's your thought when you first wake up in the morning, you're already starting off wrong, right? We got to be in the mindset of what is going to be best for the environment. That could be waking up this morning and saying, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to go down here to this corner that's got this nice grass and this nice, you know, dirt to it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to plant some flowers. I'm going to plant a tree here that's going to get some oxygen to the earth. Not to say that that's something that somebody going to just jump up and do. That's just an example. You know,
Right.
something that would be beneficial to the earth, something that would be beneficial to someone around, that some walk around and maybe sit because they need some shade. And they've been in the heat, like 90-degree weather all damn day. You know what I'm saying? We don't even think along the lines of certain things that we might do that could benefit somebody else in the long run, or benefit our environment in the long run. When you're throwing that trash down on the damn ground, you riding down the street. Oh, I don't want this in my car. My car too clean. Look at, let me throw this shit out the car. You know, you throw it all on the curb. You know what I'm saying? But your car is nice and clean. But now you invite your
Nah.
environment and dirty and filthy. Then you want to talk about, oh, it's so dirty in this area and this and that. But you want to ride through dropping some shit. I'm just saying, y'all.
No, that's a great point.
Hypocrite.
If I
Right,
may say
right.
something,
Yeah, go ahead, babe.
okay, to add to two things that was mentioned that touched on me. One was when you guys talked about the alter ego. I know it was very short, but it just made me think because like people really do tap into other things within
Okay.
themselves to make themselves more comfortable, or to give, or sometimes to give an impression to other people, right?
Right.
Because they're not necessarily being themselves, or like you say, being within the spirit. When we say within the spirit, that's taking away all the other stuff that don't really matter, and being who you are in the inside, who you was made from the beginning to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's, when I think about it, it's really not that hard to grasp that, because when you wake up, it is a choice. That's why I think it's so important. And like, and I know we talked about this before too, and I'm sure you guys have discussed it as well. Manifestation, like getting up in the morning and setting a purpose for your day, a purpose for your life. Because when you getting up, you can wake up and be upset, you know, and then all of a sudden everything's more chaotic. It's more you thinking about this and that, or like you said, Ma, you thinking about things that don't really matter, like, oh, you know, my car is clean, but oh, let me get this out of my car. But then you're complaining about the outside, what the environment looking like, but you're contributing to it because you're not thinking within who you are is setting your purpose, and you being distracted by the other things. That is so important.
That's
I
right.
just thought that was like
Purpose is very, very, very important. Like living on purpose, and that's exactly what I mean too about like when you recognizing things and you know and people. Well, I'm gonna give you another example, like basically what you're saying though, because I really think about that a lot about the purpose part, because I don't think we really live on purpose, not 100%. Like you might live on purpose to go to work, or live on purpose to pay a bill, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But we don't understand how, like even like what Sister Toe was saying, how the things that we do, we should aim for things that have long-lasting effects. You see what I'm saying? So you plant a tree, like when you're not here no more, no one ever cut that tree down. Like for years go down the line, you're like, damn, so the soul planted that tree and nobody even know it, but that tree giving y'all oxygen, and that tree tall as hell now. You see what I'm saying? We see all these trees that's planted and they so organized. Someone planted all these trees we see, and all these animals, you know, and all these birds and stuff,
squirrel.
you know. So it's like when you're living on purpose, though, when you like intentionally, and that's what I mean, right? It's for like when you go to a store, or any counter in life, right? And you just walk past somebody. When we recognize in the spirit within, not only in ourselves, like like I say, once you know yourself, right, which is that spirit that we speaking about, or people call it the alter ego, or whatever you call it. Once you recognize that, and you know that that's actually what's controlling you, that you work for that, it's for your flesh wise. Your flesh works for your inner you, your inner man. Once you truly recognize that, you know that everyone has an inner man. So when you engaging with everybody, instead of engaging with them on the flesh level, you will be engaging with their inner man. So when you know you're engaging with a person's inner man, you can do things more intentionally. Like you know how, like I was saying earlier, what you know, you do something nice for somebody, and you know how it makes them feel inside based upon how it make you feel inside. So when you do things like this purposely and intentionally, your whole life tend to change. You know what I mean? Because even though you're manipulating people, being a serpent, so to speak, but as long as it's a good manipulation, a good spell, you still say nobody give a damn. It's like, that's a nice person. We don't give a damn he trying to be nice or not. That's a nice fucking person. Every time I deal with him, he's nice. You know what I mean? So if you doing, you trying to trick me, you're doing a damn good job of it. You know what I mean? Because that's the impression that I get of you. You see what I'm saying?
And when you look at when you think about, right, if even that, like when you said that, it made me think about you know, having a purpose in the morning, you know, when you waking up. Like I was just saying, when you either gonna think about being in the carnal mind or you're gonna think about being in the spirit mind. If you're gonna get up and you're gonna be in your spirit mind, you're waking up with what? Well, we're waking up with a purpose, right? That if you're in your spirit, you have to wake up with a purpose. That's definitely right.
And that's the whole purpose of waking up, huh, to the soul.
Right,
it's
right.
like, what
Right.
Waking up on
my bad,
purpose.
sister. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, so when you're waking up with a purpose, right, you have to think about what is a purpose. If I'm getting up with a purpose, what do I want to have? I want to have a pure pose. That's what I'm hearing out there. The purpose is a pure pose. So the pose, you know, when you're posing, that's being stagnant in a state, like, you know, like a mannequin or something of that nature. That's posing, you know, like if somebody's posing for a picture or what have you, right?
Yes.
So when I think about purpose, I'm thinking that's a pure pose. That's a person that's pure in that
That's
position.
exactly.
You're, you're placing yourself pure in that position. So now you're in that state of being, in that state of mind, that state of purpose would be that
Talk
pure,
about it.
that pure pose as to what you're going to propose as your persona, which is the person that you are. So you're the person you are, right? That's your persona, right? So your persona has to be a certain pure pose to represent what you wanted to do or have for that day, right? In order for you to represent either this thing or that thing or a little bit of both, or you know, whatever you choose to do. If you want to be the better purpose, you know, in presenting a pure pose or of something in your persona to represent something that is very good for this environment, my earth, somebody around me. It might be a stranger or a neighbor. My main purpose of today could possibly be that I'm riding down the street, and since I'm a thoughtful person, I have a box or a bag in my car with some snacks and some water, and I see a homeless person saying, I'm hungry, you know, I want some food, and then I give them that meal. I might give them $10 and say, hey, go get you some food. I might give them $30 and say, hey, go get you a little cheap room if you can, or, you know, that's just a thought or whatever run through me. That's my purpose. And that's what's in my persona, to do something for that particular day, right?
Hey, look at that. Look, to get them through, and look, it's like say purging, purification. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Mm-hmm.
that what you just said, like where you were saying it, all I seen was how they be talking about them super saiyans be leveling up, like they'll have a small flame around them. It'll just be them standing there, you know, normal image. You know, they flex one time, it'll be say a green light. They flex, and this is like a flame around their whole body. The hair is like fire going up. Look, fire is purification. You know, like if you don't work, you don't get nothing out of it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't sweat. You know what I mean? Fire, purification. You know what I mean? And like where you say, like you said, pose. You know, or look, you pause for you know, a quick time being, because we in motion. You know what I mean?
That's right, bro.
So,
Just like you said, like a purpose. My bad, you said so. Go ahead.
look, it's just the purities and things like this is why you got fire to cook. You know, like it tenderizes where you don't, you know, you won't have to tear your teeth up like that. Or the purification thing is real, man. This purpose thing that we kind of touching on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I, I'm still thinking on it, but you got it, wisdom.
Yeah, but just like what Sister Soul was saying too, right? When we think about the purpose, the first thing that came to my mind was proposal. You know what I mean? So you making a proposal, you're making a proposal. It's for the purpose of a certain
What you
thing.
presenting?
You know what I'm saying? What you're presenting. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then like what you saying, man. When you have like a purpose. You see what I'm saying? Like everything is being burned up and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's just deep, man. How the words it tells itself. It tells the story. Only if you paying attention. You see what I'm saying? You just sit back and be like, what am I actually saying? So you know what? And that's speaking with a purpose. You see what I'm saying? That's thinking about what you're actually saying, thinking about what you're actually doing, and it's on purpose. You see? And so that's when you have the most. Okay, think about it, y'all. When you're doing any business or exactly, you know, when you're trying to
purpose.
That's right. You're trying to get something for somebody or something like that, or you're trying to do a certain business, or you're trying to get to a certain destination, like a college degree or whatever. You know what I mean? You have to do things on purpose. Like you have to on purpose pass your test. You have to on purpose study. You have to on purpose, you know what I'm saying? Do whatever it takes. You can't just half-ass just wing it and then think you're going to make it to a certain destination. It just don't work that way.
That's right.
You know,
hey, look,
See, and
look,
I feel,
hey, you got it, sister. My fault.
oh no,
I'll say it.
no, you fine. I was just gonna say like also when like they say when you're doing what you love, you're not working. And that to me also is another form of in your purpose. You know what I mean? Like some people find that or understand that. I feel like, earlier than others, or maybe, they just automatically supposed to learn it earlier. I don't know. But like you see people who are living, I suppose, in their purpose or doing something in their purpose. And they're like, I was meant to do this. Like, and you can tell, because it's the way they do it. It's the way they handle it. It's the energy they have behind it versus when it's something that they don't want to do or something that doesn't feed their soul or feels like a purpose to them. But just another example of that,
That's fire.
An
That's
example
fire.
of that when it comes to like exactly people jobs, like when people are reaching out to people to help them, like if I have a question about my bank account and I call this bank and I get a representative that's just there because they want to check, they don't want to really help me, they don't really want to resolve the problem that's going on with whatever issue the bank has. They want to, they just trying to get that dollar. But then there are some people that are going to go to work, and when they go to work, their thought is, I'm going to make sure I take care of my customers today. I'm going to do it quickly, handle it with care, and be done with it. So taking that person, and it's their purpose to handle the person in their job, which would be customer service, administration, things of that nature. If the person is in that field and this isn't for you, then you're definitely going to be rude. You're going to be nasty. The person's already calling in with an issue, so they're feeling away. Then you're talking to them rudely because you don't want to be bothered, or you know what I mean. I've dealt with
talking slick
with people, talking slick, and it's like, man, I don't want to say the wrong thing because I'm trying to get my business handled. But you have to deal with people accordingly in their positions, and they don't have that respect when they're just doing the job. But if they're doing something they like, they're going to do the best. You know why? They're going to strive to do whatever it is that they can do to handle it. They're going to be the one that's going to be getting Employee of the Month. They're the one that's going to be getting the bonuses. All of that because they're doing
make
their
the job thrive.
Exactly. And when you call in, you can actually hear. A lot of people don't know this, but because I've been in sales administration, it's very important for you to speak with a smile. A person can hear when you're smiling. A person can hear when you're, at a dirty tone, and all these things. So, certain people you can hear it in their voice. As soon as you hear them answer the phone, you already know they smiling. They got a big old cheese on it. You can tell. I know y'all know.
That's right. That's right.
So
You're so right.
right? So when you call and you get that person, you be like, yes, because you already know this person gonna help me. They got me. You can
That's right.
feel. So it means a lot to live in your purpose. Like she said, it's not so much only with customer service. That's an example I'm using, but whatever you do, whatever you're good at, your artistic ability. Like you, brother, you can draw really good. Certain people have talents that they don't even feed into, but then they might draw a painting that somebody's so depressed or whatever, a person just goes somewhere and they see this painting and just open up something in their mind that's like, oh my gosh, just resolve something in their head. People don't know how important things are when it comes to visuals as well. And even in a thought that may come to somebody's mind, It may be meant for me to go and paint a picture and put it out here in this studio somewhere just for that to happen for somebody. I don't know why I made this picture.
Yep.
I don't know why I thought it was important. You know,
Mm.
all these things.
The seeds, yep. That's something because like where I didn't, say grew, a little bit learning about the painting thing. It's
Hmm.
like I don't want to become, say, a depictor for the next person who may, you know, desire a painting from me. It's like I could fold my back and be painting for the rest of the people's, where that's their ideas. And they, it's like they got hands like me and feet like me. So the whole thing is like we gotta teach each other how to paint. Like I'ma deprive you and you know, like you gonna kind of put me over you because you can't paint and I can. It's not gonna be equal, where like what if I want you to paint me, you just gonna leave me hanging like you can't paint, huh? But if you alive and breathing, you can paint just like me. Like this is why you got eyes and all of that. To you know what I mean? Like if everybody was say painting their own pictures, like dealing with common sense, we gonna be painting the same thing, but it's gonna be slightly different. It's gonna be a common sense painting, like you were saying. So you know what I mean? Where you will be dealing with say the waveform of putting makeup on somebody or just breaking down something and learning about it and applying it where you know it now. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Others got to do that for themselves or the people who can paint or that can tell their story, it's going to be one sided. And it's like, yeah, they kind of coach the masses to be where they think they can't paint. So it's always going to be somebody telling their story where you looking for entertainment.
And basically, you saying too, it sounds like that
Absolutely.
you can never paint somebody else's picture for them. It's like no matter how
Yeah.
much they try to explain it to you, they see what they want. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
like since you see it so good, well, you can tell it to me. Why don't you just do it? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And so, yeah,
Right.
I understand exactly what you're saying when it comes to that.
Hey, Wisdom.
Mhm.
About the brother you said that was breaking out his body, like in what forms or
Oh no,
what nature?
that was J Mod. I didn't say that. That was J
Okay,
Mod.
yeah, that was J Mott. Like I'm trying to see where you at, Jay. He gone.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he
dropped
slid.
off.
Man, that was deep because it had me thinking about like say them little spaces we was talking about. Like it's kind of like where I don't have no problem with say my professions or whatever things that I'm dealing with in my life. I go head first into them, and I do. If you see me doing it, you wouldn't have no problem doing it yourself, because it ain't no problem. You know what I'm saying? It's the people that won't do anything that's the problem.
That's what I wanted to say too, man. Like you brought the idea back based on what you
Let's
were
roll.
saying.
Let's roll.
So that's where like practice come in at. Most people are
Mm,
scared to practice, no matter what it
practical.
is. You know what I mean? Life is practice. You know what I mean? Don't
Mm,
no one has it figured out. Nobody. No
every day.
parent, no child, no nothing. Is a fresh book for each person. It's not cookie cutter.
Wow,
You know what
bro.
I'm saying? It's everybody first time. It's like with my kid. Hey son, it's my first time having a 22-year-old. First time having 20. I don't really know what to do. First time having a 16-year-old. First time. You see what I'm saying? It's my
Mm,
first time. Like it's your first time, son. We learning this shit together.
mm.
You see?
That's wow, man.
So it's like that's where the living on purpose thing come in at again. So in order to do a good job, all you can do is reflect on how you was at that age. It's like when I was 16, I know how I felt. I know the shit I wanted to do. I know I ain't really want to follow the rules. I ain't want to. So I can't be looking crazy when they displaying those type of characteristics. It's like you
Mm,
already know what time it is. So what you gonna be a hypocrite now? Now you gonna
mm,
keep them from doing every damn thing you wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? That you was allowed to do. You see what I'm
mm.
saying? But when your folks come around, now it's gonna be like, nah, you can't do that. Nah, you can't do it. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like
Right.
it's crazy, man. Like when you really,
That's
really look at life for what it is. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck,
yep.
I gotta let them make their own
That's
decisions
crazy.
on that.
Th-
You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
Man.
That's crazy. The part where say like I remember saying that like I don't even need to practice, even though it's a lot of things I had to practice or I got better at it, as I go. Um, it was like I used to say I didn't need practice or I'm a fast learner. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like practical, that part tickles.
See,
You know how
practical not don't necessarily always have to mean, even though that's where I was using it. You know what I mean? Where you do things over and over and over. But
mm-hmm.
when you actually do something, that is a practice in itself. You see what I'm saying? You know how
Facts.
people practice law, they practice medicine, but you ain't expecting the doctor to fuck you up. Nah, you better know what the hell you're doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know we use the word practice here, but you better not be practicing on me. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
We
So
can
the
say
actual
we
doing something is the practice in itself. You see what I'm saying?
right.
But you
Yep.
can always get better at whatever craft or practice you're doing. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Groundbreaking.
Yes, sir.
Groundbreaking. Look, say you feel like you can't. Say you feel like you can't draw. Um, Practice coming into play, where say you attempted to draw today, and look, it's that part tickles where everybody they either laughing at you or they laughing with you. You know what
Like,
I'm
man, what
saying?
is that? You know what I mean? Like you call that a tree? That look like a
Yeah,
spider or something like that, right? I know what you're saying.
yeah. Look, don't that start some shit? It do start a lot of shit, and that imbalance. Like if you ain't ready to go out there, look on your knowing or your going, knowing no wings. Like them ain't really wings that the birds is flying with. You know what I mean? That's a word that we use to describe them. You know, like I can run and flap my arms just like a bird, but I ain't, them ain't no wings like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't about to take off flying like a bird. But it's
I
like,
don't believe I can fly.
but you look, you are a spirit though. You are, you are doing the hovering thing. You feel me? It's like the conception of the body. That's why they call people monsters because they be unbalanced or too scared to face, you know, to face what they gonna face. Where you gotta do the practice thing and get laughed at. You gotta fall on your ass and get back up. You know what I mean? And a
That's
lot of
right.
people don't even want to endure that part of life, so
That's what I'm
they
saying
never
right there.
became nothing.
That's right. That's exactly what I'm saying, man. And that's the
Right.
thing I think everybody
Mm.
has to overcome. And so, like it's easy to do the things you're comfortable with, right? Like we were saying,
Mm.
like those passions and stuff that we just where no one has to give you motivation to do, where you can motivate yourself easily to do it. But the thing
Easy.
that you don't really want to do, it take a little bit more than just motivation. You know what I mean? It basically take willpower for the most part. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And as I'm growing, I'm starting to learn those are the biggest challenges. It's not what you want to do, it's the challenge. It's what you don't want to do that you should do. That's the
Mm.
challenge, right? It's like let's say it's like I cut hair and stuff like that, right? So just
Okay.
imagine when people come in there to get a chop and I got a fucking attitude. I'm gonna feel like Sister was saying, got badass customer service. Like, man, what the fuck you want, man? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? They be like, I don't know if I want that dude to cut my hair or not. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
even whether I want to or not, I know it's to my best benefit to put on a smile. Hey man, what's going on, bro? What can I do for you today? Why? What you got? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To make people
Yeah.
feel comfortable, and they want to give me more money when I do that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because not all the time do I want to do that. I be kind of dry. I not really want to talk that damn much. You see what I'm saying? And it affects
Okay.
my tips too. Or people be like, man, you all right today, bro? And stuff like that. Like, nah, I'm good, fam. I still got to put on a good
Mm.
face. You see what I'm saying?
Okay,
But in
yeah.
my mind, I just don't feel like talking that motherfucking much. But I'm perfect. You see what I'm saying? But it just let me know that, hey, man, it's not
Mm.
about you when you're dealing with other people. You know what I mean? Everything is persona, the character,
So
like we said.
yeah, you gotta put I remember I can't say the
Put your best foot
group, but
forward.
right. I can't say the group's name, but they had a song called Plastic Smile. All I could see is Chucky smiling like he ain't bad or when the grown-ups around, he had that smile on, like, they can't even tell he's fucked up dog, or they
Right.
can't tell he got, you know, issues or whatever.
I want to
So
put
yeah,
this
it
in there
is.
when you just said
It's
that though
just
about the
like
pass
that.
a smile, minds eye before you run away
Mm-hmm.
from it. Because I wanted to mention this earlier. That's where the
Okay.
concept of blackface comes from.
Wow.
But people don't know that. When they think blackface, they think it as a bad thing. No, they talking about our black ass, like Sister Soul said earlier, when they reference stuff with us, whatever, they talking about us. We taking it in a bad light, but it's really good. Because when you go back and look at those black face images, like I posted a video about this, and they took that shit down. They were like, hell nah, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But my concept of the video was to show people how when you look at these blackface images, that these were well-to-do people. These were not poor people. You know what I mean? They was courting their wives and stuff. They were holding hands. They were doing all kind of stuff when they were doing the mockeries because they were showing that these are the wealthy, uppity Negroes that they didn't like. So they were trying to start a propaganda campaign back then to take us down. You know, and so like you know, we had the ability. As employees or whatever for the war, they probably war sharecroppers and things like that. They was trying to buy their freedom. This is my speculation on the buying the freedom part and all that. You know what I mean? That these people always came with a fucking black face. They hated their goddamn boss. They hated that white ass funky ass cracker. You see what I'm saying? But they couldn't act like that when they went to work. You see what I'm saying? When we go to work, yeah, master, yeah, they ain't even do for you. They have his hair, put on skinning and grinning, all that shit. But when they get off by themselves, right? They get off. Man, I hate that funk ass cracker. I can't wait till we figure out this plan and get the hell
Fuck
away from, you know
master.
what I'm saying? Fuck master, you're right, all that shit. You see what I'm saying? That was the blackface. So that's why they was mad at the niggas, man. Like, we can't figure you niggas out. Like, y'all got the ability to change, to adapt to whatever. You see what I'm saying? And that's what our power was. You see what I'm saying? You know, that to me.
Yeah. And it's like they just got to, you know, feeding off of that where they adapting to every damn thing. Like everybody's adapting to, you know, they plugging in, they tapping into shit now. You know, and they got it right for you to come to. You know, all of this shit that's set up. You know what I mean? They done adapted to that shit. It's like how so-called black people just fall right for the okie dokes. You know what I mean? That concept of adapting, you know, blissfully ignorant. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
The
but now
rest
it's
of
an
the world.
actual thing, though. You see what I'm saying? Now
Yeah,
they literally are
yeah.
blissfully ignorant. Back then, we
Cause
were playing dumb, playing nice. You see what I'm saying? We weren't ignorant at all. Like we knew the game. We were just playing that
just
motherfucker. Oh, y'all
got
said we
the
gotta
whole
vote.
game fucked up.
We finna take the whole local office over. Everything local, we taking it over. Okay, that's what y'all say we gotta do. That we finna do then. Y'all say we gotta get land. We finna buy all the goddamn land. You know what I mean? You know that's what we were doing,
That's just
and that's why they had to come up with a plan, man, with the Civil War. Go ahead.
hey, that's just like they say the Joker today, cause he like when he get the snap and he take every damn thing with a clown face.
With a clown face, laughing his ass off, huh? Like you
You know
said,
what I mean?
got a
Yeah, but he
permanent smile.
Caucasian. Yeah, he Caucasian now. You know what I mean? And that's crazy. He literally wear like the colors of the earth, the purple and the green.
Yes, sir.
That's the land. Like, I even remember seeing it. It was like, say a Google image, man, is set over there. I think like Saudi Arabia, where they talk about the it clown. Like this is you can find him in the say the layout of the land. It's like a clown crawling through a tunnel. You hear me? And you can only see this shit from like if you was in a plane or whatever and you knew what was going down on that ground. You know what I'm saying? But that concept of it in the you know how he be in the sewer caps and shit, like on that movie, like that conception it was done way before Stephen King in this movie, like this clown thing. Like you said, man, it go all the way back to the blackface.
And that's oh, my bad. You got to say something, y'all. My bad.
You got it. You got it, brother.
But like you're saying about the blackface, because it is one and the same. The clowns is the same thing, the same representation. You know what I mean, for the most part, and it all goes into like the what they call it, the minstrel circuits or whatever. So that's where you get your entertainers and all this type of stuff. Your ancient mamas all this type of stuff. That
Oh
whole
yes,
circuit come from
yes.
all that.
You
That is
like
the
it?
that's
My fault,
exactly
bro.
what shaped the thoughts or persona of what people think about black people. That whole circuit, that circuit right there, that everybody's still in right now. All the influencers, the rappers, the celebrities, the movie stars, all of that stuff was literally designed to paint a picture
Of us.
of us that was negative in negative context. And a lot of people caught a lot of flack about that. Like all the main what would you call them, like shucking jivers or whatever that was going on with the plan for the check. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Everybody knew that wasn't how we really was.
The Sammy Davis Jr. type.
Exactly, like Benedict Burner, what they call them motherfuckers. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, all them old motherfuckers though, like in the 1800s and stuff like that. When the circuit first started, like
Right.
Louis Armstrong and all them. And it's in all that whole era though was literally designed to downplay us. And they were saying what's so funny about it though is that we was the ones buying the tickets for the shows. They say the niggas thought it was funny to see these crackers portraying what they think is the worst of us and stuff. We thought it was hilarious. Like we ain't fucking
entertained.
Like it was entertainment, literally. But
We're
the thing
eating
about it
popcorn.
is, we didn't understand. I don't think the black people understood the long-term effects of this.
Exactly,
like,
on the
y'all
mind.
be entertained right now, but people gonna think this shit is reality after a while, and y'all just don't know it yet.
So like where your parents left watching the TV, you watching the TV for. That's all. Like say as far as purposes going on, it's Twinkies and TV dealing with, the average person that's, foot on their neck right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The TV is what made it worse. Because think about it. Every new
The
technology come
entertainment.
out. Exactly. Most of the low income people can't afford it. Right? So that means all the well-to-do people are the ones that was receiving this message over and over and over. You know what I mean? Psychologists
Dumbing them
think that
down.
they're more superior than us.
Consistently dumbing them down, consistently
Exactly.
brainwashing them,
We going
consistently
to
pouring in the information that waveform that is so important. Consistently getting it through the technology in itself.
right.
They're so important.
That's right.
Hey,
And
you
then we
know one
supporting
thing?
it
So let
at
me
the show.
finish that point, Mines. I didn't mean to cut you off with him. I just
Oh
want
yeah, it's
people
all
to
good
know.
though. But that
Yeah, my
it just
fault, my
wanted to
fault.
say it though. I'm just
To
reiterating.
see the
And
point
the
as far
idea
as what
is
you're
crazy
saying.
though, right? Is that we supported this. Like right now, we support our own demise and we look at it, right? We say we don't like the school system, but we still go to it. We don't like how they do this and do that, but we still go buy it. We don't like, you know what I'm saying? We literally always support our own demise. You know what I mean? And we see it though. It ain't like they didn't know that they were putting propaganda against us shit, but we just took it as fun and we just still supported the business. And we got these folks filthy, stupid, stinking rich. You know what I mean? And they still doing it right now today. And we so retarded. Now, I ain't saying like literally, but I'm just saying we so crazy to what
We so entertained.
we'll blatantly say, man, look at these artists or whatever, man. They harming our kids and they leading us to do this and they trying to paint the picture of that. Like, no shit. That's literally how it started. You see what I'm saying? It just shows the lack of education. It's like y'all saying the obvious, like y'all don't know that's why it was intentionally y'all didn't do the history. Even like with the police, right? These supposed to be the slave catchers and stuff like that. So what they were actually designed to harass niggas. That's literally what they was designed to do. And then we get today, oh man, they keep harassing us and they keep shooting us and they keep doing this and they keep doing that. That's literally what they were designed to do.
Facts. Hey, brother, you know, like say on that note, like you just reminded me, that's why they gave us that damn candy, man. It's about every beat down brother that you can think of, in the accounts of the past. Like real talk, like and that's why they didn't remade it. Like the movie from the first one up to now, like it's what, 4 of them, right? And it's one story, but 2021 is like kind of closing it up. You know what I mean? But it's talking about from the first one to the fourth one, like they all are approaching the brother where remember Emmett Till?
Yeah.
Emmett Till got stung to death by bees. Like in this in the form of men beating him down, a punch to your face is a sting.
But can we
Like
believe that story, brother? There's a story that didn't really happen. That Emmett Till.
yeah.
Yeah,
Look.
I just wanted to put that out there so people, some people don't want to. We don't want people still stuck in the lies.
Right.
Neither.
Hey, that's so deep because that's the thing with propaganda, whether it happened or not. Like we know about the story. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just like how they we be talking like, look, you just said, like, say if I get up with a purpose to not be physically, controlled by these people and they trolling energy. Like if I'm a get up today with purpose, I'm gonna do everything spiritually from within me from point A to B, and ain't nobody gonna be able to stop me in between that. You know what I'm saying? And this is just like where you would let somebody physically press buttons. It's like you woke up with buttons on your chest like a phone dial. And these people, if you let them push them, they will call up the monster that's say the anger within you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's that hawk. That when that energy starts to rising, that's that adrenaline.
Yeah. And look, say they tied that to the Candyman conception. They said call it. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, propaganda and button pressing, like say a lot of the stuff that happens in the news didn't happen in the flesh where we at, but where we got the word from them, we made it real. And it's like huffing and puffing, that's where you create the fantasy, a fire that'll burn, look, purification. We just talked about it. Look, like a fire that'll burn, you got a fan to keep it there. So, like in essence, this fire is gonna keep you warm in the winter. You know what I'm saying? But you would keep this fire alive that say it probably didn't even happen inside where the TV saying it did, but where these people write it down, this is what people paying attention to. Your eyes is like lights. It tie right to the TV, like your head becomes it when you paying attention to the TV. So whatever in it, you will make it real. You know what I mean? I know y'all see what I'm saying.
You're echoing, so
Yeah.
I'm echoing. Hold on, let me go out for a second.
And
People will make some things,
Hold on, mind's eye. What you saying, Key?
oh, I just wanted to, I don't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to say that I was gonna get out, but I wanted to say thank you, Mom, for having me. I really appreciate it, and I appreciated the show. It was awesome. And thank you guys for welcoming me as well.
Great.
All right, sweetheart. You have a good night. I'll talk with you later.
Okay,
Yep.
talk to you later.
Good talking
night.
to you. No doubt. I think I'm gonna fall off too in a minute because I know you don't want to make the stream too long. You know what
I
I
was
mean?
about to say
Because you
I'm
had
a
your sister on
little
there.
tired. I'm looking like, I was gonna stop at 3 hours. We went over a little bit more.
Yeah,
I
6
ain't
minutes.
made
So
up the thoughts, but yeah, get your last words in for the quick second, guys. We will be out here. I appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody
Right on.
that tuned in, you guys that jumped up to conversate with me about this. This was a really good subject, good topic. I appreciate you guys for joining me. Yeah, let's start with you real quick, Mind's Eye. Would you have any last words, bro, before we get out of here?
Yeah, I do. Just, say pay attention to the light. You know what I'm saying? Where you can manifest things, you will never even touch it, but you can make it real. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like just pay attention to the light and where you taking in, say the waveform and I'll pause with that. Just pay attention to the matrix and don't let it play you. That's what I want to say.
I appreciate it.
that's right. And I'm gonna say in the same, basically, just live on purpose. That's like truly live on purpose if you can. You're not always gonna be aware of it, and it's not easy to do. It sounds easy, but just try. It's not as easy as you think, but you definitely will see the results when you live on purpose.
That's
And
right.
big respect to you, sister.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate
All you
it.
Good
sisters.
show, so I'll let you
Yeah.
another time. Peace.
All right. Peace, brother. Appreciate y'all. And yes, guys, what I'm going to say before I get out of here is definitely make sure that you are living in your purpose. The best thing for you to do is to make sure you're waking up with the best, purest of heart. Get your day going with a good mind, a good spirit, a clean thought. Not to say that you're going to have a perfect day or everything's going to go great, but when you're striving to do these things, this is where we're able to manifest a better or pure or perfect world, I'll say. Even if it's not what someone else may consider perfect, it could be perfect for you. If you know that you are striving, you are changing, you're making a better way for yourself, the people around you, your environment, things of that nature, it has no choice but to be a better, going into a more perfect world. So when thinking about that, just keeping in mind to be pure in your pose each day. That's what I would consider your purpose being, maintaining the purity in the pose of things that you are presenting to people each and every day, in your to how you're treating people, the way that you are doing things, the way you're handling yourself as a person and a being. Being a pure heart and pure mind, you're gonna automatically be able to follow the wisdom of doing the right things that are going to be in the perfect world for you. So when you say the perfect world for you, it doesn't mean it's the best thing for someone else. But if you're doing the things you're supposed to do, if you're taking those steps, following the directions of your heart and the things that you know are going to bring you the best life, you're going to be able to do everything that you need to do to make that manifestation of what you need to make it perfect for yourself. And then that would in turn go ahead and make things follow in a direction of manifesting things in the environment, right? If we're all doing the same things, right? If we are all concentrating ourselves on doing what we need to do and in our space, let's think about that space. If I'm in my space, you're in your space, we're all doing the right things. Just imagine that. That's just a creative energy flow that would start to connect all over. You're talking about a world wide web of pure energy, light, photonic energy that is nothing but pure spiritual light and pure purpose, right? So let's do that. Hey, I had an awesome day today. I appreciated my panel. I had a lot of people come through that I talk with and build with on other platforms, and they came through for me today. I appreciated that. It was really great to have Miss Sophia Stewart come in and just do what she usually does, just speak truth and matter and talk about things very matter of factly. She don't have a problem correcting you. She's correcting me many a times. you know, with me saying certain things, she's very precise in her words and saying things that manifest certain things that aren't true or that are true. So that's one thing that I note about her. And I'm in agreement with that. In manifesting things, you must be in the proper place to send out the right thing that you want to create. You want to build up in those molecule space that you are sending out, in your message, in your words. You're spewing these words out that are actually manifesting, helping to build the building blocks of any type of foundation, whether it be negative or positive, right? So in that, guys, I don't want to talk too much longer. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. We will have Miss Sophia back again for part 2, so we could talk a little more. I'll possibly open the panel, let a few people come up, elaborate on some questions. I know we had some other questions for her. She was really gracious to stay on a little bit longer after we ended the show on the main radio. She stayed on and elaborated on a few of the questions from the comments, and she was very gracious with her time today, even though she had a black tie event. She's a very sweet person. And yeah, we're gonna welcome her the next time so you guys can get a little more information. So thanks so much for tuning in once again, guys. Make sure you're doing something great and wonderful when you get up tomorrow. If it's for somebody, if it's for the environment, even if it's for yourself, making a great change, getting up, making maybe a healthier lifestyle. I can help with that. Reach out to me, akrandlesnaturalnature at gmail.com. I do consults. I make sure I can get you set up in everything that you need to do to get proper lifestyle going. So let's just do that. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Until later, I'm out.